All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans and pets, welcome back to the 2021 World Rift Invitational for the C region. Today, we got a bracket 2. We're going to determine the second finalist that's going all the way. Going to go against 16-bit from Korea. We got a lot of crowd's favor today. We got Aether Rift representing Philippines, Team GG from Singapore, TGT from India, as well as Team Sequence from Singapore as well. So across 3 countries in the Asia region. Very, very exciting. Of course, along with me is our sexy yet charming, attractive D2, our co-caster. How are you doing, D2?
Wait, I'm sexy yet charming? Which one of those is the bad part?
Sexy and charming. Sexy. How about that? It's just English. It's English. Sorry. That's what it is.
I didn't mean to make fun of your English, but I had to do it just because it's such a funny thing. It's like, he's sexy, but don't let that fool you. He's also charming.
Yeah, don't let that fool you. He's also charming. True. Thanks.
Anyway, we had some good games yesterday. I unfortunately was having a bad time with my head, but today I'm feeling great, and I'm really excited to see these games.
Yes, we are. Now, before we get started, I do want to do a big shout out to the sponsor, Trovo.live, for making this tournament happen. Trovo is Tencent. It's a platform developed by Tencent's World Rift official partner. Make sure to head to Trovo for the exclusive grand final coverage. The grand final will be casted on Trovo exclusively tomorrow, so head to Trovo now, get your spot. We're also going to do a lot of giveaways along with the grand finals. You don't want to miss the giveaways. If you win, you can win anything you want. It's kind of like Christmas all over again, but you know, Christmas is over. Now, the first game, Ben Pick, is getting started, so we're going to finish the... I want to read it, the World Rift Competitive... I want to tell you guys about World Rift Competitive real quick. World Rift Competitive is a central place for all things competitive. They host weekly tournaments and events for the community. They also provide an easy way to find a scrimmage and recruit for your team. So head to World Rift Competitive with the social links in description. With that, let's quickly jump into the first game, ban pick. Now, the ban pick is being done. The ban's being done off the screen, so you guys cannot see. But D2, do you mind telling the viewers what is being banned or picked?
I believe, if I remember correctly, it was Evelyn, Oriana, Misfortune, and then Gragas were the bans.
And Gragas, yeah. And we do not have the sequence here, actually, who banned who. I totally forgot. But those are 4 heroes being banned. So right now, we're seeing the Team GG's perspective, which is the Singapore team. And then if you go here and take a look at Wu's channel, by the way, all these players are streaming on Trovo, so you can go check out their perspective as well. Their voice comm, I think, are also being streamlined on Trovo. So if you want to listen to what they're saying, if you're a Pinoy, right, you want to hear what the team are communicating, head to their channel, and you might be able to hear them talk. But obviously, if you want to hear cast, this is the channel you want to be. Make sure to head to Trovo.live for the exclusive coverage of the grand finals. Let's take a look at a ban pick on both sides. Right now, we're looking at Team Aether Rift's perspective. So Monkey is going to be the jungle choice. What do you think about the ban picks so far? You too.
I love how like Wukong is the only champion that you call Monkey. You don't have a nickname for anyone else. It's just like Wukong's the only one where you're like, that's the Monkey.
Yeah.
But in any case, Wukong has done reasonably well thus far. Unfortunately, it's hard to have a good grasp of the how effective certain picks are from day one, because it was just blowouts the entire way. So it's like, were the team just better, or are they picking better? I think it's a little bit of both. But we'll have to see.
Yep. And then it looks like the team, as the games are getting started, we do have a tiny bit of delay, inconsistency from both team here. Looks like a 5 to, let's see, like a 10-second delay. It seems like a 10-second delay.
We should tell them that there's no spectator mode in Wild Rift yet. So the way we're spectating this is we're just going off of player stream. So that's why we're kind of switching back and forth between these perspectives. And one of them, like you mentioned, is about 5 to 10 seconds behind the other.
Which is a really, at least it's a technical difficulty that we're experiencing right now. It's a challenge, but it is what it is. So you can see it's about a 10-second delay here. This guy is just starting the game with 001, 002. Yeah, about 20 seconds actually. That's quite a bit of delay on both sides. But look at if you look at Team GG's perspective, it seems like we're a little bit invading going on from Aether Rift, going to the red side, and Y is pushed away from their jungle.
Yeah, you can see at the bottom of your screen there. Or sorry, the bottom of the top left of the screen. If you look at the mini map, that red side, or from this vantage point, the red side was invading. Can I get clarification? So we're watching Alistair here. Which side? Oh, wait, that's not Alistair. This is
Alistair right now is from Team GG here, and then we're watching Alistair from Team GG. We have Alistair's perspective, and for Aether Rift we have their marksman's perspective, which is played by Woozy. And then obviously team top side with a little bit of skirmish going on.
Yeah, big skirmish, and the Ignite's what's able to take down Braun. One more member from here. Draven actually falls as well. Looks like the last shots there from Kaisa is able to take down the Alistair. So in the end, a 2-for-1 in favor of Aether Rift.
Yep. Draven does get taken down though, and he was not able to get a kill. So he does lost some of the adoration. I mean, it's early game, so it's not that big of a deal. But nice level 2 gank from Lee Sin there to make sure that their top lane had a little bit of advantage. And obviously, Kaisa was able to stay alive through all of this. So Kaisa got a lot of gold advantage, taking down the kill on the Alistair. I'm not sure if you're taking down the kill on the Draven also. Oh, mid lane.
Yeah, the Braum goes down once more, so he's not having a great time. There was a pretty big gank, Zed coming in with the Lee Sin as well as the Ahri, but the Ahri dies herself. That's pretty problematic. Actually, wait, I'm confused. Wait, who died? I'm so confused. Ahri died.
Yeah, I believe
Ahri died to the Braum.
Yeah, I believe it's
Ahri died to the Braum. I'm very confused. Okay, Ahri died to the Braum. My mistake. And so regardless, it was a good gank once again by Aether Rift.
Yeah, this is like, again, we don't have the Spectre to see, so this is the best we can do right now, guys. Yeah. Eventually, hopefully, Grand Final we can get more players to stream, and then we'll be able. Oh, Alistair.
Yeah, good knock, but Kaisa gets a little bit low, but she's kind of fine. Braum is gonna help keep her safe. The thing is, even despite that, it's hard for Draven. This is one of Draven's big weaknesses, right? Because he has to chase his axe around. You can see like that golden mark. He basically has to catch his axe, or else his damage drops significantly. So if he's able to catch the axe, then he can get a lot of damage out. But then sometimes when you chase the axe isn't in the right place, so you can't really follow up on kills every single time you want to.
Yeah, it is a struggle. That's what defines a good Draven player and an average Draven player, right? Like how can it balance that? Do you want to just refresh your skill by activating it, or do you want to catch it, or do you want to just drop it completely? All of those are just things you need to consider. That's why also, like, when I watch a marksman player to stream, personally I prefer to watch Draven over like other marksmen, because Draven actually is fun. Like all the other marksmen seems like it's just straightforward, right? Draven is actually take a lot of it's very micro intensive type of hero.
Yeah, a lot of decision making, a lot of knowing like how much damage you actually have depending on the countdown of the axis. And also it actually refreshes his second ability, which is a huge cooldown if you don't catch your axe. So it's a double bonus for him whenever he catches his axe. But I played him PvP. It was I just played him in normal games, and I got frustrated so quickly. I'm like, okay, never, I'm done with this character.
Well, absolutely. I mean, this hero is not every single hero is for everybody. You find your favorite hero and then you go with it. Oh, the first dragon, it seems like Team GG will start on it. They have 5 people rotating here. Now, Aether Rift is not going to let them have this for free. You can see they're also hanging out on the other side. It seems like kind of a sandwich situation here. Except for Draven is getting the adoration, but this might not be the best position. Braum?
Oh, big ult coming in from Braum. Gets in there. He's extremely low himself. In comes Zed from the bottom side to try to get some damage. Down goes Wukong. Draven getting a lot of damage through this entire time. The Alistair just in the thick of things, trying to make things happen for his team, but his team gets collapsed upon anyway. The Draven goes down. The Vi's already down. Ahri goes down. Malphite goes down. And that is an ace.
Triple kill for the Lee Sin. This guy is huge. They got the dragon on top of it. I mean, like, I feel like for Team GG, they should have dropped the dragon. Even though this time we see at least both teams are rotating the dragon. The team fight is a 5-on-5 skirmish. But while they're hitting dragon, or at least they're getting sandwiched, Aether Rift was just ready to collapse on them, right? You saw what happened, and they just used every single skill on top of the entire Team GG there. Now, also another thing that's pretty shameful pretty sad for Team GG is Draven died without getting a kill, so he just lost all the adoration again.
Yeah, that's really bad for him. And like you mentioned, that's his passive where he gets extra gold for building that up every time it gets a kill, but when he dies, it gets cut in half. I want to ask you about like what Team GG tried to do there. They immediately rotated to the dragon, but instead of there's a kill onto Malphite. Getting things are getting worse for Team GG, but they rotated over to the dragon, and it was very like surface level, right? They just went to the dragon, tried to take it, and it's like either Rift is never going to let you do that. A good team's never going to just let you do that. And in fact, it was they just were able to set up completely perfectly, getting this around on them. So, but what do you think about like that decision by GG just to go straight onto the dragon and kind of get?
I mean, it is questionable. You're absolutely right on that. Like, it's on the surface level, right? Like, people can just tell that's exactly what your plan is. Now, a little bit skirmish on top side.
Yeah, there's things. Oh, actually, that was actually good for Draven for the first time. You're able to get a kill on to that Kaisa, which we mentioned his passive earlier. It gets him a lot of extra gold every time he gets one of those kills. And now even we see that the Braum was in trouble. Braum goes down as well. So we criticized GG for a couple moments there, but now they're making some moves.
Yep, they're making moves. On the other side, though, Lee Sin does trade off the Rift Herald. So Aether Rift, they're pretty strict or on point, on time for objective, right? At 4 minutes, their entire team was ready to contest the dragon. At 6 minutes, they were taking down the Rift Herald. And then, so the dragon was taken down around 5 minutes. So around 9 minutes, you should see the second dragon coming up. So that's probably the next team fight. Right now, the top side tower has been taken down. The bottom side tower has been down. Oh, Ari trying to get away here.
Zed does not get the kill on Ari, but yeah, he ends up going down in the end to that turret. One slight consolation prize is that he gave the kill to the Alistar rather than the Ari. So that's a little bit of a boon for him. But other than that, it's kind of a questionable decision to dive so deep under, not even his own tower, but the the dragon side tower.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ari is one of the, we talked about this yesterday when we compare all the mages and when Aurelion Slow showed up. I mentioned that Ari is probably one of the hardest hero for Assassin to kill because the mobility that she has. She has 3 dashes with the ult. When you pick Zed against Ari, you have to make sure. Now, speaking of that, Zed is coming in.
Yeah, I knew that the ult was on cooldown that time, so he's able to get in, get that kill, and get out of there. Meanwhile, we see the Alistar trying to get in the thick of things. He actually is able to get out for a moment, but they dive back onto him, and he's going to fall. The Lee Sin is revived, immediately gets taken down afterward. So right now we have a 3 for 2 situation in favor of Aether Rift.
Yep, and look at Draven. He finished that GA
sorry.
for GG, for Team GG. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it backwards there. Sorry about
that. Yeah, but look at Draven already finishing that Guardian Angel, the most popular item right now. Pretty interesting first item choices, but also pretty expected. The next dragon is coming up as expected between 89 minutes, and then it's Infernal Dragon. This is one of the most important dragons in the game. Alistar does have the sweeper. It seems like they already know where Lee Sin is. Right now, the Rift Herald being released down mid lane. I think that's just trying to buy time, but if you don't use this opportunity to take the dragon, though, this Rift Herald might just be wasted. Team G does have 4 people staying mid.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the timing on that Rift Herald. Perhaps it was running out of time and they wanted to get it out right now, but it could be, like you said, it could be a ploy to try to take the dragon. Ooh. Meanwhile, on this top side, we have the Zed going down. Zed kind of dropping the ball here for Aether Rift, allowing the opposing side to get back into the game. He does get the trade-off with the Ari, but that might not be what they had planned here.
On the other side, the Monkey is pushing it all the way, getting tier 2 tower all the way on the bottom side, knowing that he had the huge lead against Malphite. There's nothing Malphite can do it against his Monkey at split push, because Monkey has such a big lead. And Monkey against Malphite, he can just QE to trade and W away.
Here comes the teleport in. We're going to get teleport in, which means that the Wukong's going to jump onto this Alistar. Can he get the kill here? Alistar staying strong, staying alive the entire time, but the dragon gets taken here by Aether Rift, and they're not done yet. They're going to jump in. One of the revives gets popped. The Draven's going to be coming back in a second, but the Vi drops here, and looks like multiple members of Team GG are going to fall, starting off with the Alistar, then the Draven and the Vi, and now finally the Malphite goes down. So 4-0 and Team GG. They were starting to come back, but now they're falling behind once more.
That was so sad. Now, look at Ari's getting engaged on once again. Can he survive? No, with one slipper of health, he's able to get away. Now, there's one thing that I noticed on top side was Zed actually killed Ari, who traded before the dragon started. I thought that was kind of odd because Ari had ult. I think she just didn't want to. She popped it late. She was trying to save it. But after she took all the Zed's damage, then you pop your ult. It's like, it's not gonna. it doesn't really matter. The whole point of Ari countering Zed, not countering Zed, but not gonna die to Zed easily, is because you can dodge Zed's ultimate damage. You know, when he marks you, you can just try to run away from the shurikens and all that. Speaking of that, but that I think definitely give Aether Rift a huge advantage. And also, Team GG in that dragon fight made another mistake. They were hitting the dragon while Aether Rift was hitting them. They got the dragon very low, but they're not able to find like a kill. Now they're maybe doing it again on this Baron.
Yeah, this is a very risky Baron try right here. Zed tries to come in, but he gets taken down pretty immediately. He does get the return kill onto the Draven, though, so potentially worth it. And that means that Team GG can't really go for that. In fact, they all try to back at the wrong place. Oh my goodness. And they all get collapsed upon. Alistair goes down. Malphite goes down. And yeah, Aether Rift is not stopping. They want all the kills for themselves. And again, it is a 4-4-1 in favor of Aether Rift. That was not the place to back.
Yeah, and Aether at the same time, Monkey wasn't even in there. It's 5 versus 4, and they lost it. The reason why they lost it again, they were rushing objectives at the wrong time. They were taking Baron damage while the enemy team was trying to hit them. Right? The Aether Rift had one goal. Like let's try to kill them while they're trying to take the Baron. Let's try to kill them when they're trying to take the dragon. The same thing. They repeated the same mistake 3 times, and that's why you saw in this game Aether Rift able to pick up basically every objective for free. They got the dragon. They picked off the dragon from. Oh, Zed is coming in again.
Yeah, Zed keeps trying to make things happen. Unfortunately, he keeps failing. This time he doesn't pay for it with his life, though. Thankfully for him, does the Braum get the Braum came in and just stole the blue? But yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, though. Like, it feels like Team GG is so focused on getting objectives that they forget that they should probably, secure some kills before they go for the objectives afterward. And Aether is just picking up nice, juicy kills left and right.
Yeah, I mean, I always say that in any MOBA, actually, this actually transcends through all games, all MOBAs. Objectives, when the enemy team try to contest, you're gonna do objectives. There's only one reason to do it, is try to use it as a bait. You shouldn't force objective. In fact, if you watch like the LL League of Legends PC version tournaments, and at the highest level, a team will get Baron to like 40% HP, 30%. Oh, skirmish happening mid lane.
Oh, big ult coming in from the Alistair, but he gets knocked up left and right. The revive coming in here for the sides of for Aether Rift, but they're able to use those revives to come back and get some kills. They're all extremely low. Can they get the kill on Irie? Yes, they can. Multiple members falling, and that is a complete ace. And nary an HP bar left here on the side of Aether Rift as they finish it out.
Wow. Well, I mean, hopefully Team GG make adjustment on their next game. I mean, I like the fact that they were on objectives, but they were rushing it. So back to what I was saying, objectives should be used as bait, not as something you focus on, right? Even in a PC tournament, when some team get the Baron, which is one of the most important objectives in the game, they're around 30-40% HP. If the enemy team is coming to contest it, they will instantly drop the Baron to make sure they don't take the Baron aggro anymore, because Baron does a lot of damage. Yeah. And then they will focus on the team fight. If they win a team fight, they come back to Baron. Literally, they will drop the aggro on the Baron. If enemy team go to try to steal Baron, then they will kill the person who's in the Dragon Pit. But they do not keep up. They do not keep on hitting the objective when team fight is happening, because you want to make sure your team is doing one thing and one thing only. When you're not, when you're doing objectives, it's easily to get your team distracted, and that's exactly what happened. So hopefully next game Team GG makes some adjustments, and we do not see the same thing happening again. But what do you think about that last game, T2?
I just think that Team GG had really surface level strategies, and they didn't really know how to execute those strategies, right? They didn't know how to get into the tactics of it, because like you mentioned, they were trying to take these objectives, but they didn't, they did none of the right things, right? They did the worst of both worlds, right? And what I mean by that is that they could have either baited it and tried to take a team fight with the other team kind of rushing in, right? Or they could have rushed it as quickly as possible and tried to take the dragon or the Baron down as quickly as possible. They did neither. They did the worst of both worlds, right? They were taking damage, but also not taking it quickly. So it made it so that they were very easy to get engaged upon, and they weren't even trying to just bum rush the objective itself. So it's just kind of just pretty poor execution, I would say there.
Yeah, that was it was odd, right? I'll just say it's an odd game. Aether Rift does take the first win, though, against Team GG from Singapore. If they take one more win, they will proceed to semifinals. So this is Team GG's last chance now. If they do take this win, we're going to see a full best out of 3 games. If they fail to take the next win, then they will be eliminated from this Invitational. Again, it's single elimination bracket for the bracket 1 and bracket 2. And then once they lose the game, they got taken out, except for the 3rd and 4th place, right? If you do make it to the semifinals, then you have another chance to win $50. So hopefully they do their best in next game, and we'll see a much more competitive Team GG showing up.
It still is technically single elimination throughout the entire tournament, though, because if you lose in the semifinals, you can't win the tournament anymore. If that makes sense, right? Like your best bet is to go for 3rd place at that point. So in that sense, it truly is single elimination. Yeah.
So with that, guys, we're gonna take a short break for the next runs, because right now the teams are setting up. We're waiting for the next band pick to start. Do not go anywhere. Make sure to get your popcorn ready, and make sure to go to trovo.live with the link in the chat right away. Do not miss the trovo.live event, because the grand final will be streamed exclusively on Trovo, and then it will happen tomorrow afternoon after we decide the next finalist today. Aether Rift looks like they are really, really strong right now against their opponent, but we'll find out in a few minutes. So with that, I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the second match between Aether Rift and Team GG. Aether Rift from Philippines and Team GG from Singapore. I'm your caster, AssassinDave. With me, the one and only D2. How are you doing, D2?
Doing all right. That last game was one of the closer ones we had. I know it looks like a stomp to the viewers at home, but it's been stomps all the way around. So it was interesting to see, some back and forth.
Yeah, but now this game, hopefully Team GG actually learn from the mistake they made last game and make some changes. Now we're gonna see more of Aether Rift's perspective, because you can see the stream right now. It's not delayed, right? It's both sides. It's only 3 seconds apart, so it's really, really nice for us. But let's take a look at a pick and bans from both sides right off the bat. The picks on both sides right now. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I don't know if it's a good thing that they're not that far off, because then you're gonna have my head in a swivel, just going back and forth. Wait, what's going on?
Don't worry, I will remind you and the audience what's going on. I know it's really, really disorienting sometimes, so I'm sorry for that.
That's fine. It's fine. It's just like, wait, who are we? Oh, okay. Looks like we're gonna be watching Draven play this time.
Yeah,
we're watching
that's
the
good.
ADC.
I love it. We're gonna see
that's gonna make us even. It's gonna make us even dizzier, because he's gonna be chasing his axes all the time.
Yeah, true. But over here, you get to see the details on how a good Draven player control the axis, right? So look at that one team. It's Draven and Alistar, really aggressive marksman lane, a dragon lane, and on the other side, how to counter it's Kai'Sa as well as Janna. So the initiation from Team GG here is mainly coming from Malphite as well as Lee Sin. Their MM lane is mainly defense. Is very, very defensive, right? It's Janna and Kai'Sa, so they're just trying to go focus on the farm so they don't die there. We'll see how that happens. Meanwhile, if you look at for Team Aether Rift, they do have a master player on their jungle on the Y, which is really nice. It's the first time actually we have a master player in this tournament. So there you go. You see
we're watching Aether Rift right now, right?
Yeah, we're watching Aether Rift and Marksman Uzi.
Okay, got it.
But their jungle is the master player. Everybody else is diamond.
Double, triple, making sure. I do want to see Vi potentially win a game. I think she's like 0-5 or 0-6 in this tournament so far. So I would like to see this master Vi player show us how it's done.
Yep. Guys, the first time you see a master, but obviously we're not gonna see his perspective. You can see the invade coming in. They do know this invade is happening. Are we gonna see a mirror invade? Because this is the second time now that Team Aether Rift actually invaded. Last game they also invaded. This game they did the same. But last game Team GG didn't respond. This time let's see on the Team GG's perspective as I'm switching right now. It looks like they do not counter invade. In fact, Lee Sin just started the chicken, and now he's moving to the red buff.
Yeah, and you see right now, you can see Vi show up a couple times on their screen. In fact, Vi is taking yet another jungle camp. She's just living in the jungle of Team GG right now. And
Aether Rift is doing the engine strategy from, not Aether Rift, Aether Rift. They're doing Team GG strategy, the 16-bit strategy. Sorry, from yesterday.
Yeah, Aether Rift is doing yesterday's team 16-bit strategy by basically flipping the lanes, right, and making it difficult. But looks like Wukong is in a bit of trouble here, as he does get taken down. He and his clone both get taken down here, as a nice rotation here by the side of Team GG, and they get the kill.
Yep, a very, very interesting execution. Now, they do get a first. Team G doesn't get first blood. They're doing, that's exactly what I was saying yesterday. When you try to do this, enemy can do the same thing to you, right? And that's exactly what's happening. They have the dragon lane. They're forcing the dragon lane tower. They know that Team Aether, we're switching Team Aether Rift perspective right now. They got a tower. Both sides traded the tower. But for Team GG, they do get 2 extra kills on the dragon side. So their marksman is a lot more farmed. And then eventually in big team fights, Team GG does have the big Malphite ult. And then they have Lee Sin engage. So they have a lot of engage initiations.
Yep.
Whereas if you look at Team Aether Rift, they're mainly relying on the Alistar wall. They also have Gragas. So true. I mean, both sides have a lot of engages and disengages. So this team fight is going to be really chaotic and exciting, in my opinion.
Yeah, you talked about this yesterday when Team 16-bit attempted the strategy, and it worked out extremely well for them. But you were saying that it's actually worse to give away the Dragon's Eye Tower, and Team GG is actually responding very well by being able to do that. And meanwhile, we have a 3v2. We have a gank coming in on here. Alistair's extremely low. Draven tries to take the hit for a second there, trying to get his axes to work for him while they hold him off. They're able to hold him off for a second, but here comes the mini wave. Perhaps they dive even further.
Yeah, Yasuo is coming. Also, we're seeing a Yasuo in the tournament. The flash coming in.
Speaking of Yasuo, they jumps in, tries to get the damage in, but Yasuo's getting cut extremely low. Yasuo does go down in the end after taking out the Alistair. Not maybe the best trade here for Team GG, but they're going to continue on to the chase here. Ults keep being aimed and size up here by the Draven, but that actually allows them to get the kill, it looks like, and Gragas stays alive.
Interesting. That's a nice bait, actually, because you can see where Woozy was aiming his ultimate. He know that Lee Sin was going to come in. He aimed the ultimate on top of a Gragas. So when Lee Sin jumped in, he just instantly died. And Gragas being, have as much fat on his belly. He didn't die, actually. He survived.
Yeah, so actually pretty well played by both sides, I would say, because you have Aether Rift kind of, backing up, trying to defend, trying to get as many kills as possible. So they're able to get a 3v1 for it. But on the side of Team GG, they are able to get the turret as well. So, it's kind of like a even-ish trade for both sides, I would say here.
Yeah. Now we're going back to Team GG's perspective. They are setting up at Dragon now, just like what they did last game. So let's see if they're going to focus on teamfight this time instead of forcing the objective. So Dragon's been spawning in 1 second, and Sweeper being used.
Yeah, they're doing the exact same thing as last game, except they have much better position this time because the Dragon is facing the opposite direction, so they get to get a good team fight. That's a nice knock up there from the Janna, but they're getting a counter engage on the other side. Ult comes out from Janna, but getting pushed away by the opposite Alistair. Lots of members low for each side. Malphite goes down, Alistair goes down, Lee Sin gets his revival popped, I do believe, and in the end, Vi's going to go down as well. So too does Yasuo and the Draven, and that means I can't even do math right here. It was a 3-for-3.
Yeah, I think I believe it's a 3-for-3. Maybe it's a 3-for-4, to be honest.
No, it was 3v3. The kill count was 3-3 when we started the fight, so it had to be 3-for-3.
Okay,
that's the only way I knew. I was like looking at people who are dead, but since the death timers were so low right now, they came back right away. So I'm like, we'll just look at what it was and what it is now.
But Team Aether Rift and they continue to Dragon now right after they come back. They take the advantage where enemy team was not ready, and then Monkey was. The entire team was still there. Monkey, even though despite how low he wasn't really backing off. So they started the Dragon with 5 people. They got the Dragon that was a Mountain Drake, which gave them a big shield for the future team fights.
Yeah, you can see the shield there on the Alistair. That's coming from the Mountain Drake. And right now on the Draven as well. That's going to be there for the rest of the game. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of similar situation to last time, right? Like the Team GT did a better job fighting, but then they kind of forgot what they're going to do, right? If their entire objective this game is to take the objectives, then they should really stay on it. Whereas, it seems like Aether Rift is kind of more on the ball. They're like, okay, well, we didn't run away from the Drake this time. Yeah.
They even though it's an even trade on the team fight, but right after the team fight, their objectives still were clear. We're still here for the Dragon. Let's still get that Dragon. And immediately they got that.
Yeah, so that's really good there for Aether Rift. So much more even game, but Aether Rift still managing to eke out some advantages here, which is not a good sign if you're Team GG.
Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Team G did pick up a kill on Gragas, and they're looking to find more team fights around the Rift Herald.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't watch the team fight because we're watching Draven here picking up his axe. A nice axe micro, I guess. But if you're looking at the bubbles on the minimap, then you saw that Gragas did get taken down, and that means that Team GG here is able to secure the Rift Herald, which is one of the first time they're actually able to secure one of these objectives.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's the first objective. You're right. That's the first objective they ever got in these 2 games. Hopefully that extends to more objectives, like the next Dragon. Next Dragon is the Ocean Dragon. It's going to be Omni-Web, Physical Lifesteal, as well as Magical Lifesteal.
Yep, so both teams are obviously going to want to have that happen. But it's not going to be up for a little while. And, Janna, a little bit of trouble there.
Yeah.
But, her ADC's got her back. The Kaisa comes in, gets a little bit of damage off, so the opposing team has to go ahead and back off. Aether Rift looks like they're congregating in the middle of the map here. You can see Gragas on the minimap as well as Draven. So they're really trying to focus on the mid part of this map and make sure they control the angles from there.
And this is the point where I say Janna is the bottom side.
Oh, okay, Jana, please continue looking at the fight, please. Thank you very much. There goes the Malphite. He does get taken down. Very well done by our Master Vi player here. And as she gets in, she gets jumped on immediately. Has to use her ult just to stay alive, but immediately jumps back on her as a team of Team Rift, or excuse me, Aether Rift, excuse me. And they're able to take her out. Kais is on the chase, and immediately Vi comes back and trying to take her out. Uses the stasis to try to stay alive. He also wants revenge. He's jumping onto this Draven. Draven's running out for his axe, but he's not running out for his own life. And that means he is taken down immediately. Guys, some more damage onto the Vi, which makes her want to back off. And now Jana is coming back to life. She wants to join the fight once more. This fight will never end, apparently. But looks like we're finally going to have people backing off.
And Vi is now going back to pushing mid tower. That's a pretty detailed play from both sides. If Vi was able to use Hourglass to bait out some skills. Oh, but Alistar does get picked off here.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate for Alistar. I think he was being a little bit too bold, right? Being the human ward for his team. He took a really, kind of dangerous path back to safety, and Team GG took advantage. You're like, you can't be in our jungle interfaces like that by yourself. Buddy.
Yeah, well, he probably feeling just emboldened because it's year of the bull. This year, 2021. Just feel like he has the extra courage to go in.
I had no idea, but thank you for that information.
From the Zodiac perspective, the Asia Zodiac, it's the year of the bull.
Yeah.
2021. But then
I only know when it's my own year, which is every 12 years. So I just I don't even care about the other ones.
Good. That's all we need to know, to be honest.
That's all we need to know.
Yeah, that's all we need to know. So let's go back to the Woozy's perspective on the Draven from Team Aether. Nice knockup. Wise looking to going in here.
Yeah, they're getting in a lot of damage on both sides, but it's hard to tell what's happening because Jana isn't quite in the fight yet. One revive is popped, and I actually can't really tell. Uzi is getting in the middle of the fight. His ult was actually blocking the fight for such a long time. It's hard to tell what was going on. But he's going to get surrounded here by the Yasuo, but gets enough damage so that they're able to take him out. Wukong able to finish off the kill there, and Draven is just getting his axes off unimpeded for the last few strikes. There's just 3 members of the team has already died, though, so it's going to be a 2v4 left over, and that means that Team GG has taken their first major team fight.
They take their first major team fight victory, and now they're going for the dragon now. With Vi taking down, with Monkey taking down, they do not have much threat on this dragon, and they will secure it. So it's a 1-2-1 Drake. They do get, Team GG does get the ocean dragon, and then their opposition does get a mountain dragon right here.
Yeah, Aether is pretty angry about it, though. This is the same area of the map, except flips, where GG got completely stumped last time. So this time they're able to get away with those backs, but they have to be a little bit more careful. That all said, though, they do get their first big victory of both of these games by first getting a 4-2 victory in the team fight, and then able to finally take the dragon. It turns out, Dave, that when you win a team fight, you're able to take the dragon, not the other way around.
Yep, that's exactly what you need to do. Otherwise, the only time when you take dragons, when you know the enemy jungle is not there, I mentioned this yesterday, you have to be, if you know the enemy jungle is going to the other side, you usually trade the opposite side of the map. But that didn't happen today. Both teams are really on point when dragon coming up. No one want to give this dragon for free, even though the opening was like mirrored, was like the 16-bit gear strategy we saw yesterday. But once the objective comes up, you see the both team converge on the objective, which were really nice to watch.
Yeah, so for the first time, 16-bits, Team GG, my mistake, is doing a much better job with the situation. Looks like Draven, just waiting for the next item. Feels really bad when you leave the fountain with 800 gold, and you're like, I really know that I have an item coming up here. Is able to pick up that last one. A little bit of skirmish here between the Vi and the Lee Sin. Multiple members coming in to try to save the situation, but Vi does go down. Will that lead Team GG to try to go for this Baron? In fact, they are going for it. Many members low on mana, though, so I don't know if they can make this happen. Looks like Draven's coming through from the back. That very ballsy play coming from him, throwing out this axes, trying to get some damage, and down goes Wukong. Draven's in a lot of trouble as well. I don't think this is the time for them to fight. Big knockup, though, by the Alistar, trying to make this happen. The revive gets popped here.
Draven's coming up.
Extremely low. He might be able to make something happen. He has to use the flash to get out of here, but he is going to get taken down. And there is the knock up onto the Gragas as well. Wow. He's going to fall. And that team fight lasted so long that Vi is already up again. It looks like Team GG is going to be trying to take this Baron, I believe, unless they backed off. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it seems like they are backing off, because right after the game, they know that Vi is up, and everybody on their team is kind of low. They do not want to take the risk to contest this Baron right away, because it does come up with the possibility to be stolen. Number one. Number two, Vi might be able to get 1 or 2 kills. Because if I lands that passive on somebody, right? Well, it's actually very simple to do. Just skill 1, charge on someone, auto attack E right away. That's the instant passive, and then you follow up with an that might be a kill, especially on how squishy and how low the entire team were for Team GG. So I think it's the right decision. This time they're taking a lot more patiently, and they're winning those team fights, and they're turning this table around right now, actually.
Yeah, they are turning this game around on its head. They're up 16-12 in kills. They're unable to take that Baron there, but still able to control the game from this vantage point as we flip over to the side of Aether to see if they can potentially come back in this game. Uzi trying to make things happen on his Draven, but taking a lot of damage in the meantime.
Yep. Now both team again. They're still hanging out. Monkey this time does not have the teleport anymore. It seems like Team GG looking to make things happen first.
Oh my goodness, the Lee Sin gets absolutely jumped upon, but so too does the Alistar. There might be a little bit of trouble here, but the Lee Sin actually takes down the Alistar in the end. I can't believe he was able to make that happen. It's hard to tell what happened because we're looking at Draven's perspective, but they just jumped in when they were unaware, and that's a huge play from Team Aether. Now trying to take the Baron. Can they take it, or can it get stolen here from Team UG? The Lee Sin goes down. Who does it get taken by? They stole it. Oh my goodness. So Team GG is able to take that down. And now they're continuing this fight. Multiple members going down. Just the health bars race left and right here. Looks like there's going to be a revive coming out as well. And that's a complete ace here for the side of Aether somehow.
That's so sad. Oh my god. They got the kill on Alistair. They thought it was a call. Monkey again was split pushing. So now that's the end of the game. You don't have to do anything anymore because the game is already over. And just like that, Aether Rift might seem like they give their enemy a chance, a sliver of hell, a hope, but nope. That's it. That's the end of the game.
My head is spinning. I don't even know what happened. what just happened? Wait. By the way, did you switch perspectives in the middle of that fight?
No, because I did not. It was on Draven the whole time.
Okay, sorry. That's like I was so confused. Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
what a ridiculous
what a team fight actually in the last game, right? That was nobody expect that to happen. No one expect that to happen. Luckily we do have our lovely camera person, aka AssassinDave, does have that game recorded, so we can go back and take a look at that team fight. Just real quick. We want to see exactly what happened over there. So that was kind of
who even got the Baron? It was
team Aether Rift. They got a Baron. That was so unfortunate. They got a kill on Alistar, and we can go ahead and take a look of exactly what went down right over here. You see that they killed Alistar, and then they were starting the Baron, but they forgot the most. Again, it's 5 versus 3 here. Monkey just split pushing. He doesn't really care. And then
are you watching on the stream? Because I can't see it. I can't see it if you're watching it right now.
Oh, the stream is watching it. Can you see it?
No, I can't see it. Sorry.
Oh, what the hell?
It's still on.
That was weird.
It's still just showing the.
Here, let me go ahead and fix that right away. Do some screen share action right here. Right about now. This guy. Okay. So, if you see that starting this team fight, they got a kill on Alistar. That's the call to start Baron. There's nothing wrong with that. But once Gragas comes in, he killed the Lee Sin right away because Gragas' damage is insane. He jumps in, did the entire combo. Lee Sin died, and Vi came in, just smited that Baron. That is so sad because they ignored how much damage Gragas can do. Once they won that team fight, they still have to consider, yes, it's a 5 versus 4, and then Monkey was split pushing 5 versus 3, but that doesn't mean you can do Baron for free. Especially Lee Sin was already at 40% HP. You can see starting up the Baron, Lee Sin was already, because the kill the action they did on Alistar, if you go to take a look at HP line on Lee Sin, he was sitting at 50% at the starting of and he was taking Baron damage the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, what makes it even crazier is like you mentioned, Wukong is split pushing top, so they just aced them fighting 3v5. They fought 3v5 and they aced him and got the Baron. That is absolutely ridiculous. And you can see that Draven does so much damage if left by himself. Obviously, they got the kills on Lee Sin right in the beginning. So that and that kind of split the entire team. Meanwhile, Draven comes from the backside and just picks off everyone who's left over, and that was just it.
That was just it. What a crushing defeat Oh my goodness, that was probably the worst ending because it does seem like Team GG had a really good shot. They got Alistair, they picked off Alistair right before Baron, and then if they're able to take that to the next step, that's a victory right there, you know. But obviously, that did not happen. So with that being said, Aether Rift will proceed to the semifinals, and they're gonna be waiting for their opponent, which is going to be selected from TGT and Team Sequence. Team Sequence is actually led by a streamer called Leroy, and then a lot of you guys are watching Leroy's streams pretty frequently, pretty regularly. So you're gonna see their team in action. Are they gonna take the win and go against Aether Rift in the semifinals, or are we gonna see Team TGT from India make a step forward and represent India? So it's all gonna be very exciting. DT, do you have anything to say before I take a break here?
I need to put my head back on for a second after that last fight. I was just a little bit confused. I am looking forward to this next one, though. Leroy is an amazing player, and I'm kind of being biased and rooting for him so I can see Leroy go against Aether Rift again, but just looking for good games.
Yeah. All right, guys. With that, we're going to take a short few minutes break. Get your Coke, get your soda, get your whatever, get your popcorn, share the stream with your friends. Most importantly, use the link in the chat to go ahead and follow the stream on Trovo.live because the grand final tomorrow will be streamed exclusively. The game are just getting started. We're getting more and more exciting matches. It's a lot of fun to watch all those games, and we'll see you guys in the next game. right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the 2021 World Rift Invitational, sponsored by Trovo, brought to you by World Rift Competitive, casted by AssassinDave, along with my beautiful co-caster, D2. How are you doing, D2?
You know, despite the fact that I didn't have anything to drink last night, I'm actually in good spirits. I don't think I can ever match the energy. That is just like... I don't think I can come out swinging like you do every single time.
It's exciting. You don't think it's exciting? What's just such exciting matches?
You know, it doesn't matter how exciting it gets. I don't think I can get that level. It's just not attainable. It's just I can get to a certain level, but some goals are just out of reach.
Well, the second match between TGT, the first match between TGT and Team Sequence is already underway. So let's quickly take a look. The band picks already started. So let's go ahead and show you guys the picks right now. I just want to quickly run through the bans. The bans on both sides are Evelyn, Olaf, Alistair, and Braum. So a lot of tanks being banned away. The strongest tanks, Alistair and Braum, being banned away. Olaf and Evelyn being banned away, which leave a lot of other meta jungles or meta fighters available on the table. So let's go ahead and take a look of the picks. So D2, why don't you go ahead and run through the picks for our audience here?
Well, we're taking a look at TGT, who is from India. It looks like they've gone with Lee Sin, Janami, Akali, and Fiora. Fiora we haven't seen a whole lot of. Yeah. Obviously, Lee Sin has been picked every single time, but I gotta say, part of the reason why the last game we cast between Team GG and Aether Rift broke my brain a little bit, and I was confused as to who was because in every single game we've seen so far, Lee Sin has won and Vi has lost. So when I saw the proverbial favorite, right, in Aether Rift picking Vi and actually winning with Vi, winning that last team fight, I think my brain just broke a little bit. But I think that might actually continue here because the favorite in this match is probably going to be Team Sequence here from Singapore. And they, in this situation, have picked Vi. And our underdogs from India have Team TGT have picked Lee Sin this time.
Yeah, an interesting fact here when you talk about underdog is a few players from India. India didn't really have the game yet, but they already have people who are enthusiasts, right? All these players who are trying to go esports, go competitive for World Rift. Just show you that how many people across the entire world really trying to play this game, really want to play World Rift. And you can see that they do have some platinums on their team. Where on Team Sequence, they're all emerald and buff with 2 diamonds, right? Including Leroy, they're on the silent, who's playing the Gragas. And right now we're looking at Team Sequence perspective, and he's playing the Gragas and the silent.
Look at this button setup. I have never seen that before.
Me neither.
Is his ult on top? His ult is on top. Is that right?
Yeah.
He's got like he's got like a keyboard setup. He's got like the WASD setup for like FPSs. It's really funny.
What? You're absolutely right. Like, that's like, why? How is that more convenient?
I mean, we're watching Leroy's stream, right?
Yeah, we're watching Leroy's stream right now. That's
but there's another player on Leroy's team named Leroy WR. So, did someone steal his name? I'm so confused.
I don't know. Maybe they're using a Smurf in the main account. Maybe that account has more heroes and.
Maybe Leroy is playing all 5 roles at the same time. He's that good at the game.
Sure, true. That's also possible. But look at this. This button setup is just what? Is that human?
I don't. He's playing on an emulator. He's the footage of him on his phone right there is just it's stock footage. It's or his previous footage.
God damn, that was crazy. Okay, let's go take a look at Fiora. I mean, Fiora is a lot more normal. Right, the button setup is the same, and this is a TGT perspective. That's unfortunately for us, this game we're gonna see perspective from both sideliners, so it's gonna be the same lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't really jump around the map. They're both gonna be opposing each other. If you guys haven't played Fiora, that yellow light sticking out of Gragas are his vitals, and if she attacks there, she does a lot more damage to him. And so that's what she wants to basically get on that side of him, and Gragas can actually see that. So if you're playing as Gragas, he can see where his vitals are being revealed to the Fiora, and he wants to kind of position himself in a way where Fiora can't actually attack from that side.
Yeah. Silent trading is such a delicate thing, though. I always say, like, mechanically, silent are the most intensive and the hardest lane in the game because there's a lot of lane trading, a lot of details going on. You have to calculate what the minions are. The early game minions attack actually hurt. Oh! Top side?
Oh my goodness, she's trying to get onto this Vi, but our fake Leroy is making things happen. Unfortunately, he gets jumped on by the Lee Sin. The real Leroy comes in with the Gragas to try to ward them off.
Are we?
As I say that, Ari comes in with her ult. Another dash in. We see our Fiora trying to get away here, but as she looks at the fight, their team is in trouble. They're extremely low. They have to get out of there. And looks like Team Sequence is going to back off, but not after already securing a 1-0 lead in kills.
An interesting skirmish early on. It's just a trade-off HP, seems like, but it does give Gragas a lot of advantage because Fiora went home. So Gragas is going to clean this wave and get himself to level 5 first. And obviously, Fiora definitely lost quite a few minions over there in that trade because now he's just come to the lane.
Were you able to not
make Gragas go home?
Yeah, he's able to get away in the end there. By the way, I love when players do that and they don't flinch. Yeah, you just have to have no fear. Like, they're not going to catch me. It's fine. I've seen so many players get spooked by people coming in and potentially finding them, and then move their joystick. It's like, no, they wouldn't have found you.
I mean, maybe, okay, so now I'm still looking at the control. I'm still being amazed here. I think maybe Leroy is just a very organized person. If you look at his camera, it seems so clean. Like, this entire this person, he's just like a really clean package. Like, if you look at his layout, even though it looks kind of awkward, like the WSAD kind of control format, right? But if you just look at the entire thing, it looks like a very organized square, right? Every button, every line, every roll is very organized. I feel like it just reflects his personality.
But he's using his thumb, right? Not his finger.
Yeah, he's using his thumb.
So that, I mean, when your thumb protrudes, your thumb comes from the bottom right side. So I feel like being diagonal is the more natural position, right? Because
nice parry.
That was very well done by the Fiora. Ult goes onto the Gragas. Oh my god, they're both extremely low. Oh my goodness. So you saw the ult pop there, the blue lines coming, or the blue quadrants coming out of Gragas, and if all of those get attacked, then Fiora gets a huge health bonus. Not to mention that every single time it's a lot of damage onto the Gragas. So Leroy not wanting to take any chances, but the beginning of that fight was pretty crazy because he threw out his ultimate, and that would have majorly knocked the Fiora back. But Fiora, with great reflexes, using her parry to make sure that she doesn't get CC'd there or take any damage.
Yeah, that was good. That was such a beautiful parry from Fiora. That was detailed. Oh, Fiora trying to get home here. Gragas like, I don't think Fiora recognized this.
Hello?
And it might be too late.
Is that lag?
Gotta wait. Topside, though.
And I think that might have been lag there, because even after she got caught, it took her, maybe she was looking at some other part of the map, but yeah, it took her a while to realize that she was getting aggressive on.
Also, okay, another play habit that it's a bad habit to have, that I have, is like when I recall, there's nothing else to do. Like you said, you can either look at the other side of the map, or you can also look at items to see like what you're gonna buy next. Think about like your plans and stuff. All of those kind of block your screen. That's why a lot of people, when they look at a score, they choose the half of the screen setup instead of full screen setup. They really want to make sure they don't get punished while they're looking at the score. That's the one downside of playing on mobile, obviously, because you only have such a small real estate, like screen real estate. Look at all the information.
And if you put it on half, like you mentioned, you don't actually lose any information. I was looking at it the other day and comparing half versus full. There's no more information to be getting on full, other than there's just more room, so it's easier on the eyes.
That was close though, but Fiora able to finally, realize she was in danger, able to get away. And luckily for her, Gragas didn't really have his ultimate or ignite. If Gragas had more skills there, that was an easy kill, right? That was a free kill. So.
Yeah. Well, despite all of, the crazy battles between Gragas and Fiora, Team Sequence has taken pretty sizable lead here, getting a 3-0 in the kills, which means they're going to be pretty far ahead in gold. Fiora is going to be rotating through the mid up to the top. Leroy sees that, so he's going to back off for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the objectives have just so far gone to the team from Singapore here in Team Sequence.
Yep, they're right on top of it, and now Greg is looking to initiate on this Fiora once again. Fiora not able to dodge anything though.
Yeah, gets the ignite off as well, and that is a dead Fiora. Even pops her ult at the very end there, so not even a kill, but also a wasted ult here, and that means that Greg is getting a lot of damage on here. Yeah, looking at the mini map there, you can see all the members are attacking each other, but even though Nami dies, no one on Team Sequence is low at all. So this is definitely going in their favor. They might even be able to take out that bottom turret. Obviously, you see here on the main screen that Leroy has taken out this top turret already. So Team Sequence is really putting it here to Team TGT.
Yeah, they're putting the, stepping it down, right? Putting the foot on the metal, pedal on the metal, right? Is that the right
pedal to the metal, yeah.
Pedal to the metal, yeah. Yeah, put full gas in, and then just look at this, right? There's like one side of domination here, 6-0. Top side got a tower. Bottom side got a tower. The both sides are winning, and then they got the first dragon. So they got the first Rift Herald as well. So it's right now I do not see the Indian team, the Team TGT, able to come back from this.
Yeah, Sequence here working on a flawless game. Fiora not even able to get this turret before Leroy is able to come back here. So yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, like what you said, 2 turrets down. Or excuse me, Team Sequence has killed 2 turrets. They've gotten the Rift Herald, they got the Dragon, and they're 6-0 in kills. Literally a flawless game so far.
It's a flawless game so far. Yeah, that's right. There's nothing. I mean, there's nothing that TGT is doing that is showing us that they want to contest the next objective. You're gonna see that the dragon is coming up. Sorry, the dragon is coming up, and then are they gonna contest the next dragon in 13 seconds? It looks like if you look at Team Sequence, their entire team is around that side, and then obviously bottom side Rift Herald being laid out, and we might see Leroy rotate to that dragon. Actually, no, he's confident enough to keep on split pushing. Well, let's take a look at Team TGT's perspective. They're not even contesting this at all. Everybody's just hiding in their side of the map.
Yeah, we see Fiora here in her bottom side of the map, but Leroy on the flip side is on his bottom side of the map. So they're actually flipped sides here. Eventually the Rift Herald is going to get taken care of, but not before it kind of stomped into that second level tower. But it seems like Team Sequence here is just kind of biding their time, waiting for a chance to get a kill. They might get this turret here. In fact, they will. And they're just waiting for the next objective to come up.
Yeah, Team TGT, we see some amazing plays from this Fiora. Right? They got the mechanics. What we're seeing here that's lacking compared to the opponent is understanding of the team, the game of mechanics, the game objectives. They are not really rotating as a team when objective is coming up, and which give their opponent a huge legs up when it comes to like, oh, look at that combo coming in.
Oh, beautifully done by Leroy. Oh my goodness, just throws out his ult, immediately goes in for the knockup afterward, and that is a dead Akali on the opposing side, and they're just styling at this moment. Nami tries to get an ult off, doesn't really do a whole lot. Lee Sin's in trouble. In comes the Malphite, trying to finish off the kill. All the members of Team Sequence are joining in on the fun. Malphite doesn't even go down. Ult to cover his tracks. And yeah, the Jhin can't make anything happen as the perfect streak continues at 9-0.
Even Malphite missed that ultimate, and why it wasn't even there. They were still able to just get that kill and then walk on out of there. It just shows you that for Team TGT, it feels like they're missing direction. They do not know what's going on, right? They're playing passively, whereas Team Sequence they know exactly what they need to do next. They're doing objectives one after the other, and TGT, they're just following the footsteps, right? They're playing reactively, and reactive gameplay is never encouraged in competitive. Even though sometimes you can play defensive, but you have to play like active defensive, right? You have to know that this is our plan, and there's a reason for that. Ooh, bottom side.
Oh god. Oh no. Oh, don't do it to him, Leroy. Don't do it to him, Leroy. Even the ult comes out here from the Fiora to try to maybe scare him off a little bit. So close to dying. Nearly does. Looks like there's going to be a skirmish between the there's the first kill. Finally some revenge here as Akali is able to take down Leroy's Gragas. But this probably is a little bit too late at this point.
Yeah. No, Teamfight Milan though.
Yeah, Malphite just trying to go in for that engage there. The stasis is forced out, as well as the flash. The Fiora's in all sorts of trouble. And in the meantime, the Jhin and the Nami went down, which means that they're in even more trouble than before. Sequence is just walking all over this game as they aggress onto the Baron.
Yeah, with the Baron, right now it doesn't seem like Team GG want to contest it. Fiora is already there. Let's go ahead and go to Fiora's perspective. I love this game where it's so even, on both sides, so it's almost no difference on the timer. Oh, but Lee Sin doesn't get taken down though.
Yeah, I don't think Fiora wanted any part of that Baron. And you see Leroy wanting to get his revenge here, chasing her down. you could even his vital is like pointing straight at her. Like you want some of these vitals, and he comes out, tries to get the ult, doesn't get the knockback, knocks him forward by accident there, but in comes a Malphite, tries to get the damage off. Here come some of the minions, and I think this might be the beginning of the end, as Team Sequence is probably going to look to push in these mini waves and win the game.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go back to Team Sequence perspective here. They are pushing all 3 lanes at once. So very separated right now. Top side, a little bit of lag from Leroy's side. What the happening with the barrel? But yeah, they're pushing all 3 side. Might be a little bit separated, but it's okay at this point because there's so much lead. Everybody's leading by a few thousand gold. So combined, their team is probably leading by 15,000 gold. Speaking of that, bottom side, another kill onto the Akali.
Yeah, the Akali does go down. It feels like the side of TGT is so weak with regards to gold that even these minions can kind of take him out. So it looks like we're like basically an 8v5 situation, and the inhibitor turrets are starting to fall. The mid one does go down. Gragas rotates back over the top side to finish that off. I like this viewpoint. He's giving us a nice viewpoint of the game while he's pushing top. Just observing the game while casually pushing the top lane. I like this from Leroy.
And that's the thing that you as a player also want to learn how to do, because you can see the competitive players, all the perspective that we've seen. While they're playing, they're also swiping the screen to see other stuff. But another team fight happening on the bottom side, and they're looking to push for the end right now.
Yeah, exactly. All 3 inhibitor turrets have gone down. The numbers on the side of Team Sequence are extremely low. One of them already has fallen already, but that doesn't matter because it looks like the minions are going to finish the game off by themselves, and that is game 1 going over to Team Leroy as he gives a nice thumbs up to the camera.
The Baron minion too strong, and also Team Sequence. By the way, if you see the camera, their entire team is actually sitting in one room. The entire teams are actually real life friends, and they are going to Leroy's place to play the game together. I thought that was a really cool thing to point out, because basically everyone's in the camera right now. Not everyone on their team, but they're all sitting in this little room and play this game together. I thought that's pretty exciting, actually, to have all your real life friends to play one game.
Yeah, just a dominating performance there by Team Leroy. Of course, Team Leroy throwing the game by having us only 2 kills and 1 death. What a terrible performance by him. Obviously, I'm kidding. They did very well on that side. And I just, we called Team Sequence the favorites going into this match. And unfortunately for TGT, they didn't show us anything to prove us otherwise.
Yeah, and TGT, hopefully they can do better in the next match against their opponent. Obviously, this is Team Sequence, it's definitely upside, like a upside heel, uphill battle. Uphill battle. Yeah, English is so hard. It's definitely an uphill battle for Team TGT here, because they're Team Sequence not easy, and obviously we pointed out the rank difference, right? From the rank difference, you already know like one side of the players have played a lot more, and then obviously they're real life friends, as mentioned, so they're a lot more organized, and then they're a lot more synergized, as a team. Where Team TGT, I do not know about the team synergy right now, because the first time I get to observe Team TGT's gameplay, I do see that their team does want to does try to contest enemy, and like I pointed out, their mechanics are pretty good. It's just they need to definitely work on the game perspective, the macro control, like how to get Dragon, how to get Rift Herald, and all that kind of stuff.
The issue I had with their play, though, you were talking about how the Fiora was trading reasonably well with the Gragas early on. Yeah. But I think in order for them to even have a chance, I think the Fiora has to dominate that matchup, right? Because she's so much better. She's supposed to be the dueler, right? Whereas Gragas is much better at kind of disrupting team fights. So if she's not winning, like if she's just trading even, that's actually a win for the Gragas. And in fact, Gragas was able to get the first blood, if we're talking about that matchup only. He was able to get the first blood later on. So yeah, they need to turn things around in a hurry in order to make this competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a good point, though. Like, because one side is more of a team fight hero, the other side. But Greg is such an OP, like high tier hero in the game right now. He does everything so well. If he gets certain items, he can one shot a lot of people, right? Fiora, but you're absolutely right. Fiora, as a duelist, need to be dominating her lane. Unfortunately, when you go against Leroy, we saw Leroy was playing reasonably passive as well, right? He knows that probably in lane, Fiora is going to have certain strength over him, so he was not really taking a lot of risk. It's just one time when he saw an opportunity, he threw a cask, which was beautifully parried by Fiora. I thought that was just really well played by both sides. Obviously, from Leroy, from Gragas' side, he saw an opportunity and he wanted to engage on it, but Fiora just dodged that beautifully, perfectly. So yes, you're absolutely right on that point where Fiora should win the lane. It's also at the same time, Leroy played pretty smart to not allowing her the opportunity because he didn't trade with him with Fiora early on.
Yeah, I do like seeing Leroy kind of growing here, because I think the last time I cast him a few weeks ago in one of the tournaments, he was playing mostly Malphite, and then it was pretty effective as far as the draft was concerned, because the opponent had to either take Malphite or ban a Malphite away from him. And when they did, he was able to play multiple other champions pretty competently. He was able to play Camille and a couple of the champions.
Yeah.
So it made it kind of it didn't really work in order to get the Malphite out of his hands. But I think this game, just starting off straight away with the Gragas, shows he's super comfortable playing multiple champions in this sort of tournament environment.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely the both teams are getting to the bends right now. We're gonna go ahead and take a short 2-minute break, guys, and we're gonna get the next game started. So once again, this tournament is sponsored by Trovo.live. The grand finals will be streamed exclusively on Trovo. If you're watching the game right here, if you're wondering where we're gonna watch the exciting grand final matches, make sure to use the link in the chat right now to go ahead and join us on Trovo.live. At the same time, this tournament is organized by Wild Rift Competitive. Wild Rift Competitive is all things competitive for Wild Rift. If you're looking to recruit new members, if you're looking to have your team signed up for the next tournament, all you have to do is use the links in description to go ahead and follow Wild Rift Competitive, and you will find the information you need. They have Discord server, they have Twitter, that announce everything that you want to know about Wild Rift. So make sure to go ahead and follow them as well. So with that, I'm going to take a short 1-minute break, and I will see you guys in a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. That was a short break. And the second match between Team TGT as well Team Sequence has now begun. It's underway, and the band pick is actually, the bands have already been finished. Let's quickly jump into the picks so you guys can see exactly what is happening. Let me quickly run through the bands. For both sides, we have total of Alistair, Braum, Vi, and Gragas being banned away. Again, Alistair and Braum, the same bands as the last game. The two dominant support heroes has been banned away. Vi and Gragas, though. Gragas is reasonable. Vi is a pretty interesting ban. What do you think, D2?
I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I've talked about how Lee Sin has won every single time. The only reason that Vi has beaten Lee Sin the last couple of games is because the team overall was superior. And why would you ban Vi and then not pick Lee Sin first here? They ban Vi and they go for Shyvana and give Lee Sin to the opponent. I think this is a disastrous pick ban case for Team TGT.
It is definitely interesting. It's definitely, well, actually they don't have the first pick. They have the second pick. I'm pretty sure they have the second pick because they have the last pick here. So
okay, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because Lee Sin was taken first, obviously by their opponent.
Because either they know who picks first and they gave Lee Sin to the opponent, or they picked first and they picked Shyvana. Either way, they gave Lee Sin to the opponent, and either whether they wanted to pick Vi themselves, it made no sense to ban Vi here.
But if you look at the total picks from Team Sequence, they have 2 jungler. Xin Zhao as well as Lee Sin. I guess they're going to run 1 hero side lane. And they have Varus being picked up as well. So, I mean, who's the support here? Is what?
Support Lee Sin. Let's go. Just kidding. It's probably Olaf, I'm guessing. Actually,
no, Olaf is definitely going silent here. It's played by Leroy. Leroy is a sideliner for that team.
Maybe this is a bit of BM. Maybe they stopped so hard that last game that they're gonna just like put Leroy in like mid or something as Olaf.
True, it's not possible right now. I mean, they do have 2 smite. This is a new strategy. Now, guys, for picking smite, I do want to point out that if you take smite, you're gonna get 20% less gold in lane. So, even though you're going to get the same experience, but you will farm a lot slower. Like, despite the fact that you might be able to go to the jungle and, get some farm, but that will take you a while. Most importantly, you will get 20% less gold than lane. So you're going to fall behind compared to your laner.
I figured it out, Dave. Here we go. Double invade. You send one jungle to the opponent's blue, you send the other jungle to the opponent's red. Let's go. The double invade strat. Let's go.
Double invade strategy. Let's go ahead and take a look of what they're doing here. 4 men going up to the top side. They're gonna meet this Darius. Stun connect.
Oh, good night. He already used his flash. That means he is not long for this world, and he goes down immediately. You see 4 members here invading. Only Varus is down in the bottom lane there. And are they gonna double smite this, I wonder?
I mean, they probably will. Or maybe not. Oh, they did! Double smite coming in from the red buff. And now, look at the rotation. They're going to the blue. The 2 jungler are going to the blue. It is a 1-1-1-2 scenario. Like 1 lane, like 1 person each side, and 2 jungler invade at the same time. Like, this is a new strategy I've seen for the first time, actually, in competitive.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Yeah, so like you mentioned, they cut through the opposing side. You guys were just watching the main screen and not looking at the minimap. They cut through between the first and second towers, and not only that, but they cut through right when the minion wave came across. So they basically were just telegraphing to the enemy, like, "Hey, we're in your jungle right now, and we don't care, and we're gonna go ahead and take your other buff as well." And that means no buffs for the opposing side. It very much seems like. How do you feel? Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel.
I feel so bad for this Shyvana. Oh, bottom side.
Wow, very well done by the Olaf there. You can totally tell Leroy knows exactly what he can get away with. The Darius had a lot of damage, obviously using his passive there to get extra damage onto the Olaf and kind of burning him to death. But the Olaf had enough just to get the kill, made sure to use his shield so he could finish it off. Maybe Shyvana can make something happen.
Leroy. Now, this is only level 4 Shyvana. Like, Leroy on the Olaf is not afraid.
Well, he's able to use a flash to get away there. Yeah, the Shyvana is level 3. Olaf is level 4. No one has their ultimates quite yet. So the interesting thing about Olaf is when he gets his ultimate, he gains more armor and magic resistance. So just not even using his ultimate, he gets quite a bit stronger. So you see that he has it now. He's going to go ahead and challenge. And I don't think that Darius wants to take this fight, especially without his ultimate. The passive goes off. And there it is. Is the burn damage going to be enough?
Nope.
He's running away? Not enough at all.
And he ate a plant and survived. See, this is the thing about Olaf. Olaf actually counters most fighters side lane. Maybe not Akali. Against Akali, probably 50-50. But when you go against, like, heroes like Darius, Olaf destroys the lane because Darius is afraid of people fighting him like straight up in the inside of the circle. Darius only strong if he lands the circle, on the outer rim. So if Olaf though, he want to fight you like on a face-to-face distance. You know, that's exactly what Darius is afraid of. So in this case, and he has a shield as a summoner spell, so he's not afraid of that Darius at all.
Yeah, Darius wants to get in these long, prolonged fights and then suddenly surprise you with a ridiculous amount of ult damage. But the thing is, Olaf does so much damage that he just kind of kills you before any of the damage from Darius can take off. But we have a good fight here. Oh, wow. Very well done from Team TGT, actually taking out Twisted Fate. Very nice use of the root there by Seraphine. So Seraphine, when her passive goes off on her third ability, wow, bottom one side? More goes down there. Yeah, Varus dies down in the bottom lane as well. But yeah, like talk to me about Seraphine. She's actually playing mid here, and she's able to root players with her third ability.
I think that Twisted Fate is a little bit overstepped its positioning. You know, going all the way to the enemy jungle by himself. I think he had a Lee Sin hanging out, but Lee Sin wasn't ready. Oh, look at that! She's eating the planet from Darius. They're trying to pull him in. One more stack.
Yeah, well, he's. Yeah, this actually goes off there. I wonder if Darius can actually finish this off with his ult. He gets it off. I mean, she's going to die. Oh my goodness. The Darius actually dies and doesn't get the return kill. I can't believe that just happened. Leroy played that extremely risky, but able to live in the end.
Wow.
It's exactly it was the perfect fight for Darius, and he couldn't finish it off. That's a
I can't find a better better example of how Olaf as a melee fighter counters Darius. That was a really good example. You saw like he got it 5 stacks off really, kind of for free, but Olaf just beat him to death. And with a little bit, even with 5 stacks on him, Olaf still survived.
I love how like half of your statement was talking, kind of technically in terms of the abilities, right? And then the last part was just, but he just beat him to, when you're able to get the passive stacks up on Darius and you're able to use his abilities in such a fashion, but he got beat to death.
Facts. Oh, team fight happening?
Oh my god, yeah. Speaking of getting beat to death, Olaf is just on an absolute tear. I think he got 3 of those kills. Even when we were just looking at Darius walking around like he was completely lost about where to go, Olaf was just killing people on the side, and they're able to finish off that ace with no one dying for Sequence.
The terror of Team Sequence continued to rampage through the entire TGT. That was a clean ace at the dragon. There's not a single glimpse that TGT had a little bit of fighting chance over there. They just got straight up demolished. I mean, it's a 5-on-5 team fight, but at this point, Team Sequence so far ahead.
What it seemed like a 5v1, then a 5v1, then a 5v1, then a 5v1, and then finally a 5v1. It seemed like they were just kind of lining up to die from TGT here, because we were watching from Bishi's perspective playing the Darius, and it seemed like he didn't even look at the team fight once, and then everyone was dying around him. It didn't seem like the greatest team fight if your team's not paying attention.
Yeah, that was it's so unfortunate. If you look at Olaf's skills, 5-0-4, and then if we switch it back to Darius, it's 0-5-1. The difference on the side lane right now on the total farm it's outrageous, astronomical. Top side?
Yeah, as you can see on the minimap, there multiple members are fighting over the top side, and only the members of TGT are falling, as already Seraphine has gone down, the Darius has gone down, the Malphite's falling as well. They're going to be pushing on this Shyvana. She's very low. Jinx falls as well. And not only that, but they were fighting a 4v5, as you see Olaf in this top lane pushing onto the turret.
Oh my goodness. It's a 4 versus 5, and they lost the team fight yet again. This is why, go back to my point, from yesterday, this is why I dislike Shyvana in competitive scene, because this is what happens when you pick such a weak jungler, and this is what happens when you pick such a weak marksman, right? When you pick up heroes like Jinx, when you pick up heroes like a Darius or Malphite and another hero, you basically kind of declared surrender in a lot of ways, because surrendering your jungle, and that's exactly I think the reason why Team Sequence decided to go with 2 junglers, right? They know you're weak, so why don't we just go ahead and destroy your jungle? That's the strategy. That's the goal. And they're pulling this off flawlessly right now.
Yeah, it seems like Team Sequence valued making sure that Shyvana didn't have anything going for in the early game. They valued that over having a support at all, right? Who needs to support when Shyvana can't even get going?
Yeah.
And now Shyvana really, she's just kind of crying herself to sleep at night while the opposing junglers run all over her.
Wow. I mean, this we have not seen a one-sided stomp so hard before. This is probably the first time we see this happen today, and then it's happening. It's happening in such an odd way because those are the first time we see two jungler. Speaking of that, look at them. They're just running over the towers. They don't care. Is the enemy tower? Is my tower? Don't make a difference.
Yeah, you can't even tell whose towers are which anymore. Lee Sin just jumps in and takes out the Seraphim. That's supposed to be their mid, not really helping them out all that much. And this is, I mean, there's nothing really to say anymore at this point. There's just like Team Sequence walking all over TGT right now.
Wow. I mean, to that point, I don't see how TGT can come back from this game. Maybe like in any other game that was try to figure out a strategy. At this point, they do not have a single dragon. They don't have a single objective. There only being one dragon. There's only been one dragon on the map so far. But can they contest the next dragon? I think it's gonna come up in 30 seconds, and then I cannot tell which dragon it is from this perspective. So let's see if I can see it here. Did you see that? I actually didn't catch it. I don't know which dragon it is. It doesn't matter what it is.
It was green.
It was green. Okay, so it's probably Ocean Dragon. Then they want to contest this, right? Because it doesn't make the Shyvana a lot tankier in the dragon form. It give him a lot of HP.
Yeah, it does. I don't know if they can contest though, because I mean, with a 14-2 kill disparity, they're probably down like 15,000 gold. They're gonna try to take a fight right here. This is not the fight that they want to take. The ult comes out here from the Seraphim, but that doesn't affect people like Olaf. Darius is going to die as well. 2-4-0 already, and it's probably going to get a lot worse as the engage comes out from the Lee Sin. He has the revive. Doesn't even matter if they take him down. It wouldn't even matter anyway. And with their tails tucked between their legs, TGT runs right back into their fountain.
Oh my goodness. Dude, I thought they were trolling, but it's a master plan. It's literally a master plan, right? I mean, after you think about it, you realize exactly what Team Sequence is trying to do. It makes so much sense, and they demo to all the audience watching, like exactly what their plan was through what they did. I mean, the two jungle invades the early game, entire team invade, and then the two jungle walk to the other side through mid lane to keep on taking Shyvana's farm. Now Baron was Baron on the map. God.
Yeah, exactly. Baron is on the map, and they're releasing the Rift Herald. Like, what is going on in this game? Like, that's not something you see very often. When the Baron is available and the Rift Herald is getting released. I think it's just a matter of experience here. TGT. I was about to mention earlier. There's no way they can come back without help from Sequence. Like, the Sequence needs to overstep their boundaries, and TGT needs to punish them. And maybe the fact that they have, more support on their side, more beefy heroes, that maybe they can make this work. But they fought right out in the open, not even under their own turrets, and there was no way they're going to win that fight. So it just seems like to me they don't even know how to come back to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think this game is already over. Oh, the hook comes in. Though.
Yeah, he has revive. There's the ult coming out from the Shyvana. She immediately dies, so that's all for nothing.
This
all
is looking bad.
Extremely long. Yeah, I mean, they do get a kill though. They do get a kill in the Varus. Actually, multiple members on the side of Sequence were low, but it doesn't matter in the end. Still gonna be a 4-for-1.
Oh no! And Olaf, look at the Rift Herald pushing in. Look at the Rift onto the crystal. How often do you see Rift Herald all the way to the crystal? And God,
I've never seen Rift Herald kill the Nexus. What? Leroy's looking at the camera like, have you guys seen that before? I've never seen that before.
It's so happy. You're like, dude, this is like too easy. What's going on? Lee Sin got 10-0 and 6. The double jungle meta, right? If you're watching this, next time when your team pick another jungler, if you already picked a jungle, don't blame your team. Just because you don't understand the meta, doesn't mean your team doesn't know what they're doing. Okay, understand? They probably copied from Team Sequence. They probably watched this tournament.
Well, if ever your opponents pick Shyvana and you want to just grief them so hard, then go for that strategy.
Once again, big shout out to Team TGT though. They've definitely pulled off a really, really good attempt against a really strong team like Team Sequence tonight. No, it's obviously Team Sequence end up coming off on top just because by sheer strength, right? You see, like they came out with a strategy, they have a plan, and like I said, this is a team. This is a a family-based team. Everybody know each other. They're in one room. It's almost like an esports org without an org, right? They're sitting in Leroy's home playing the game together. I like the scene of that because it's New Year time, it's holiday time. People get together, be friends. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good indeed. Like you said, good job by TGT fighting their hearts out. People watching at home, and we're being pretty brutal on them, but it takes a lot of guts to come in and play a tournament like this. So they are unfortunately eliminated. Team Sequence rightfully moves on, and this is going to be a pretty nice battle between Aether and Leroy's Team Sequence, because it's going to be a bit of a revenge match. Leroy trying to beat Aether after losing earlier in the finals of the tournament I previously cast.
Yep. Now this time it's not even grand final. It's only semifinals, and then Aether Rift and Team Sequence. Whoever wins will proceed to go into the finals against 16 Big Gear, who has won yesterday, all the way from Korea. Very, very exciting match for tomorrow for grand finals, and that will only happen. In Trovo.live, on Trovo.live. So if you haven't used the link in the chat to go ahead and follow on Trovo, make sure to go ahead and do that right now. All the individual player perspectives are also streamed on Trovo as well. So make sure you get yourself ready on Trovo. Get your popcorn, get your stuff ready. An exciting demonstration, just pure domination by Team Sequence there, led by Leroy. So if you want to go watch their player perspective, you can definitely head to Trovo as well. Big shout out to Wild Rift Competitive for hosting this tournament. With that, and big shout out to Trovo for sponsoring the tournament. Total of $500 for this Phase 1. Phase 2, we have a $7,000 US dollar tournament coming up for all of you guys. Some more exciting stuff coming up. With that, we're going to take a short break, and we'll see all of you in the next match between Aether Rift versus Team Sequence. See you guys in a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's a long wait. Welcome back. We're finally getting the semifinal in the second bracket started for the Wild Rift 2021 Invitational. Are you ready for the next match between Aether Rift and Team Sequence? The star match of the day. Finally, we go through a lot of elimination brackets. 2 matches already. This is the 3rd game tonight. Also, the final games. Whoever wins will be the final contestant to take on 16-bit gear tomorrow. So very, very exciting games. Once again, this tournament is sponsored by Trovo.live. The grand final tomorrow will be streamed exclusively on Trovo. So make sure to head to Trovo now with a link in the chat. Do not hesitate. And then the game today is co-casted. It's casted by AssassinDave, me, and co-casted with my really good friend right here, D2. D2, how are you doing?
Doing all right. Been waiting for this match for a while. We've had literally all 2-0s across the board. So having this match come up is going to be really nice. I think this is going to be easily our most competitive best of 3 here. And that's because I know that both of these teams are really good. And we're going to see Team Leroy here try to get revenge on Aether Rift from earlier when they actually lost to them.
Yeah.
So these teams are slowly starting to turn to rivals, which is super cool to see.
So we're already jumping to the band pick right here. The bands are Oriana, Zed, Gragas, Evelyn. Different from when a Team Sequence were taking on Team TGT, they're not banning any tanks. They're banning, actually, I mean, maybe TGT just banned all the tanks. Team Sequence right here, they're banning Gragas, Evelyn, Oriana, Zed, along with Team Aether Rift. So look at all the picks so far from both sides. What do you think about the draft by each side?
I'm just relieved that we're going back to normalcy. Like yesterday, we had a bunch of mid bans, and today we're going back to the mid bans. All 4 bans are, I mean, Gragas can go everywhere, obviously, but mostly banning champions that main in that mid area. But we're seeing, slight variation on these drafts. I think, okay, if our player would go back to the screen and let us look at the champions, that would be great. But this looks like Aether Rift here. And they have a pretty normal setup, but on the other side, Team Leroy, they go with the Dr. Mundo, which we have not seen yet.
Yep, a very interesting pick. This hero can't be countered fairly easily. Maybe another reason why you picked this hero is because it's skin. The Frozen Prince Mundo does look really nice. I personally has it, and it looks really, really good. So obviously, you can see that they're using it too.
What I found when I started playing around with Mundo the other day, it's really he kind of bullies people out of lane. He's actually pretty nice, but the one thing that counters him is just the Ignite ability. So the summer spell. So all you have to do is just equip Ignite, and you're good to go. And he has a really hard time, I found.
Yeah, and or any player on the side lane would just buy anti-heal, right? Ignite is anti-heal.
Yeah.
You can just buy a small component of that. It's 50% lifesteal, just declined. So right here, it's also a Mundo jungle. What do you think about that choice?
I'm just gonna watch and see. I don't even know what to say about that. I just want to reiterate though, or explain to the audience if they're not familiar with League or not familiar with Wild Rift. Basically, Mundo, he damages himself with one of his abilities, but he also heals a lot based on both his passive and his ultimate. And if you can shut down that healing and cut it in half using Grievous Wounds, then he really suffers. So that's why he's not always picking these high-level competitive matches, because it's just such a very simple counter to him.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you run Mundo jungle, he doesn't run into the problem with early anti-heal, right? Because he's mainly just on a ganking role. Now that also have to rely on the fact that you have to land those knife that you throw, not knives, kitchen knives, or weapons that you throw. What's the
cleaver
weapon called?
I don't know. It's like a butcher's knife. He just like chucks it.
Yeah, butcher's knife. True, butcher's knife.
I love the sound effect, by the way. Yeah, a little bit of action up. Oh, wow! The flash forward and the stun there knocks him back as well. Does disaster on that Alistair, but he's gonna take a lot of damage coming back here from the misfortune, and that means that the 2v3 is basically played to a standstill here. Very well done on the side of Leroy.
And it seems
Lee goes back in. He goes back in, knocks him right up, and there is the first blood going to Kaisa, getting the kill onto Braum. Now, both teams are still kind of fighting over it here. A little bit of lag, unfortunately. But re-engage here coming in. Uzi tries to get the damage off, pops some of her damage in order to get the finishing blows, but no one ends up dying in the end. Wukong barely any health left, and Lee Sin was pretty low there as well.
It is so sad. When there's action, there's lag. Now it's back to normal. I wanted to see what happened. But in the end, it was a
seriously.
trade-off for the support, right? Braum and Alistair both died. But for Team Aether, Aether Rift, they do have mid lane.
Yeah, mid lane is in a bit of trouble there. Kaisa, our Uzi player, looking over to see what happened, but while she was doing that, she started getting some damage onto herself from the misfortune as well. And unfortunately, guys, we can only see the player's perspective, and a bunch of stuff happened in mid, and 2 people died from both sides.
Yeah, it's so far a pretty even game. These 2 teams are the true contestants today, really. Like, if no one is really losing to anyone in any lane, and if they gank, if one side gank, the other side surely quickly counter that with their own gank, with their own rotation as well. So not a single side is definitely winning. It's 3 minutes in, about a minute in before the dragon spawn. So we'll really want to see how the team rotates before the next dragon show up.
Yeah, both sides have a pretty good understanding of how to, just basically how to rotate, how to gank, and how to handle these different situations. We saw a lot of mistakes from their opponents in the first round, and they were able to take advantage and kind of dominate the game. But when the other team is rotating and kind of ganking as well as you are, it creates a lot of interesting situations, and the really relies on execution in order to finish these situations out.
And then Olaf and Akali are 50-50 in my opinion. But when you look at even though I mean technically speaking, Akali kind of counter Olaf because Akali can use the Shroud if Olaf go to the ultimate mode, and he can just dodge. She can just dodge all the craziness. But Olaf's E actually does so much damage, like his skill 3. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And when he reaches Akali won't even be able to trade with a passive because then Akali have to actually land the E and dash out and come back in. But Akali won't activate that much passive before Olaf just throw all the damage at you. So they're actually 50-50. But then I see Leroy is playing a very passive and defensive right here, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to take little chip damage here from the Akali. But that said, yeah, the dragon is actually taken here by the side of Aether Rift, and they're gonna want more. They're gonna get in, try to get the engage on. They do get the engage. Multiple members knocked up into the air, but nice use of the ult here by Misfortune to ward everyone off. But oh my goodness, Ari, where are you going? Why did she ult right in front of everyone? And that is a disaster here for Leroy as multiple members are going down. Another member gets pushed out of the way. Misfortune goes down as well. That is a 4-4-0 for a moment there. One member dies to the turret, unfortunately, but oh my goodness. Ari out of position costs her team 4 deaths.
Also, it was for team sequence, they were not ready for it. Aether Rift, everyone was ready at a dragon. When dragon spawns, a signature move, that team that really disciplined when objective shows up. Once again, they have everybody ready, and Leroy was split pushing top. By the time when the team realized, and then when Leroy panned and mapped toward the dragon, he was already gone. When the dragon was gone, you should try to, get away there because they had a 5-member. Aether Rift has 5-member. However, they still, just like you said, Ari's getting a bad position to force himself into a team fight.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to get more done right here. Wow, Lee Sin jumps in at the last moment and gets the finishing blow off on the Braum, but well, hopefully nothing happens here, so we can talk about that. But looks like they're just kind of pairing around. But yeah, there was an amazing, 4-man knockup from the Alistair. But then, Team Sequence did a really good job of disengaging. They actually got away to the safety of the turret. And then Ari comes in and just ults right through the entire team. And, Aether Rift's like, oh, okay, thank you. We'll just kill you then. And then that caused the rest of Team Sequence to try to help Ari. And then that caused everyone to die. So a good defense turned into a disaster very, very quickly there.
At the same time, on the other side of the map, Leroy does get caught off once again, which just give Aether Rift more advantage at this point. Now, the Rift Shadow has been spawned, and we're looking at Aether Rift perspective right here through Uzi. Seems like they want to start it. They're getting spotted right here by this River Scuttle.
Yeah, the Scuttle does, allow them to be seen on the map by the other side, but they don't really care. It seems like they're going to just push their advantage and try to get this Rift Hail. They are able to get it out there, and looks like Braum is in a lot of trouble. Excuse me, that was Mundo. Mundo does go down immediately. Now they're going to go for more. They jump back onto Leroy on that Olaf. Olaf's extremely low. There's the kill onto him as well. Akali's half-life, but everyone else is pretty healthy here, and their Aether Rift is getting so much. Oh, wow, catches out the Braum here, just trying to be back, but Kai's not going to let him have the time of day.
Yep, he does have the minion advantage though. Trying to get a proc passive, exhaust.
Wait, there's no way, right? There's no way, right? There's no way.
Oi!
Are you kidding me? I just handed it off to you because I was like, okay, this is a guaranteed kill, but maybe not. Okay. Oof. Wukong in for the save at the last moment. Uzi, unfortunately, not really knowing how strong Braum was in that situation. But
I think Braum get a little bit
wow.
over his head. The reason why he was winning the initial trade against Kaisa was he had a huge minion wave to his favor. So he also exhausted Kaisa, which made Kaisa super weak. But he wasn't doing the damage. He was flying the passive, but the entire minion wave was doing the damage to Kaisa. And then after the minion wave is gone, he jumped back in, like have this illusion where he did all this damage to Kaisa. He thought he can kill Kaisa. So I thought it was a misplay. Initially, it was a really good play. We were almost killed Kaisa with the minion wave, but now it's obviously we see a little bit typing from Uzi to his team here.
Uzi just can't take the ping, especially playing from the Philippines. They released the Rift Herald. They're going to try to get some work done in this mid lane, but in the meantime, they're going to be chasing down their opponents. Oh, jumping in is the Kaisa getting massive damage off. They're able to take out the Mundo. That shows how powerful that combination can be, landing from long range, using all to jump in, and they're not done going in between the towers. Get the kill onto Misfortune as well. They're going to go ahead and take this turret. You can see Leroy in that top lane trying to get as many turrets as possible, but Team Sequence is definitely feeling the hurt right now.
Yeah, Leroy's split pushing a little bit too much. I feel like when objectives coming up, you need to find a balance between split pushing and obviously helping the objectives. Starting with the first dragon, when Team Aether Rift had 5 people at a dragon, they already kind of lost momentum. But you can see Leroy is really disciplined and just staying on his lane and pushing. He wasn't really rotating the team fights, and that I think eventually is gonna be the downside, the disadvantage for Team Sequence when taking objectives, when objective shows up, unless it's on Leroy's side.
I feel like Sequence is doing a poor job of disengaging, though. Like, Leroy, it takes him so long to get to the other side of the map. We see another member dropping here, Mundo. Mundo's just not having the good time. Ult here is popped from Leroy, trying to make something happen on the other side, but he gets taken down as well. That's a double kill for Akali, making it that much more difficult to stay in the lane. Rampage comes out as Wukong gets yet another kill, and Aether Rift are showing their skills, flexing their muscles on over and above Team Sequence right now.
Yeah, they're absolutely dominating. They're just walking over this game. I mean, like I said, this team is very stable. I cannot wait if Aether Rift actually wins this. I cannot wait for them to take on 16-bit to see which one, because 16-bit Gear is also a team that's really good at focusing on objectives, right? They're on point when objective shows up. Their Baron lane rotation is similar. When Baron shows up, they both rotate to Dragon. I mean, when two teams play almost exactly the same, then it just comes down to execution, right? Who initiated better team fights, those kind of stuff that we can see right now. This game we see more of for Team Aether Rift. They just more focused and have a clear objective, a rotation over their opponents right now.
Yeah, the thing is, I actually thought that Aether Rift was the more sloppy team for judging them by their first round matchup, right?
Yeah.
But so I'm a bit surprised to see this come out from Team Sequence. I wouldn't be counting them out quite yet, though. I think they have still something to say, and I'm not sure they can come back in this game, but I think that they can make something happen in the next one.
Yeah, maybe you can show us the first 3 full game best out of 3 in the elimination stage. Now obviously whoever loses today is still gonna be contesting for 3rd and 4th, so still have another chance. But for the winners, they're gonna go to the grand finals. So
yeah,
let's gotta step up the game.
Uzi's facing a little bit of lag. Can we go over to Leroy?
Yeah,
I know that he's not usually in the fight, but I think he has a bit less jagged ping there, and he is actually going to be doing the fight this time. Looks like a big knock up here from the Alistair. He's getting extremely low, being under the tower there. Big ult comes up from Misfortune. This might be the chance for Team Sequence to actually get a revive coming out from one of the members. The stasis comes out from Lee Sin as well. Can he get away? He's extremely low. Does get taken out by the axe from Olaf at the end. We have Akali over here trying to split push while all of that was going down. Can she take out this turret, or will she lose her life? Or I suppose both. Just use that conceal to try to get away. She's going to be joking and jiving and jumping around, trying to make something happen. He actually gets the kill on the ball, gets a double kill before falling. That's a triple kill. Excuse me. What a play from Akali there.
This is what you get when Akali's farmed. You got to be respecting the Akali damage at this point of the game. Like, the thing about the comp that they have is once Brum's stun finishes, they do not have any more follow-up CCs unless Ari lands the charm. Mundo wasn't even there, so that was such a
really
good play by Akali though.
Yeah, very well played by that Akali. Just outplaying Leroy. You don't see that very often, but just jumping back and forth, has a cool 13.4k gold to his name. And like you mentioned, really just hard to hold down Akali if you don't have the requisite CC. She's able to just dance around and, dance all over them with her damage.
Look at that Mundo skin. It just looks so pretty. Especially when the ult is active, he looks all transparent, crystallized. Like, he looks so nice. It's just so sad that this hero is kind of troll.
Yes, unfortunately, he's having a lot of trouble in this game. In comes the Alistar Dragon. Something happened. There is the damage coming in, and all the members are falling. The Mundo's going down. The Brahm's going down. So too does the Ari. No one on Team Aether Rift has fallen quite yet, although many of them are extremely low. Actually, what's going on here? The Wukong kind of just stood there and died. Okay, whatever. We'll just forget that happened. Many of the turrets are under fire here. Kai'Sa trying to get his damage off onto Leroy. So much damage coming out from that Kai'Sa. And the Leroy has to back off or now go back with his tail between his legs going to the fountain. Kai'Sa trying to force the issue here with no one. Basically, she's the only one there. Alistar, you can see rotating in from the mid, maybe try to help her out. But the bravado, the nerve, the moxie of this side of Aether Rift as they're just kind of styling on Team Sequence right now.
I think it's again, it has to go back to the point where Aether Rift is just a lot more discipline on objectives, and it snowballed off of that. When you focus on objectives, the game becomes very clear. The team fight should happen around objectives, and for Team Sequence, we're seeing the reactive play. It's how they win against TGT, right? How TGT played against them. It's more reactive because they're not proactively ready for Dragon to come up. They're not proactively ready for Baron to come up. So they're playing based off how the enemy plays and they're responding to it. Once you do that, enemies are ready. And for a team like Aether Rift, that's known to be one of the best teams in C, they're going to punish you very heavily. And now they're going for the Baron.
Yeah, and the Baron is getting extremely low. Not many eyes on it if you're from Team Sequence. They're going to try to jump on it at the last moment. Actually, quite a lot of health left. And it looks like they're going to be switching places. And now they're going to go on top of it. Are they able to get it in the end? No, it's actually Aether Rift who are able to secure it. And that means that Leroy goes down on the Olaf. The Mundo goes down. So too does the Braum and Ari. And that turned from a potential opportunity for Team Sequence into an absolute unmitigated disaster. And this looks like it's going to be the end for them.
It does seem like the end of the game. Misfortune at this point. 1 versus 5. Not going to do much. He's going to get eliminated in base.
Yeah, gets a revive, but immediately killed right after that. The revive comes out here, excuse me, for the Lee Sin as well. He comes up. He starts punching the Nexus, and that is going to be game number 1 going to Aether Rift.
Yeah, what a game. What a dominating performance once again demonstrated by Aether Rift. Showing us they are the true star of the night. Now, doesn't mean we should not count out Team Sequence by all means. That they're ready. The next match, if they win this, we're gonna go see a full 3-game matchups. All they have to do is pull off what they did to TGT. Once again, really rotate to the objectives. You have to focus on those. You have to focus on the dragon. With the China Dragon Soul system, missing one tiny dragon may not seem like much, but once the outer dragon comes up, all the previous stat will now come to do. You really have to make sure you do not miss the dragons. At least try your best to fight for it. Right? Give yourself the best chance of winning. So I guess that's what Team Sequence need to do next game.
Yeah, the thing is, I felt like they were keeping the game pretty close there. It was, I believe, 3-3 in kills in the beginning of the game. The thing is, they gave it the dragon like you mentioned, but then right after that, they had a really nice disengage, and they could have potentially played the game just a tiny bit behind rather than a massive bit behind.
Yeah.
But what happened was, again, like the Ari kind of just baited her team into a terrible team fight, and 4 ended up dying when none really needed to die.
Yeah.
And that just the game was just over at that point. You can't just give up 4 kills for nothing.
What do you think about the Mundo pick? Why all of a sudden like Mundo jungle showed up?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Me neither. That's why I asked. Because I just think it's such an odd pick, right? When in such a intense environment, what you want to do is pick off your comfort pick. So I guess the only explanation I have is that's their jungler's comfort pick. because probably other heroes are banned. I mean, also Lee Sin's taken. Vi is still available. Vi is still available. There also a Mumu available. We know Mumu being nerfed a lot, but still available. And you can also go with potentially Olaf jungle. Right, that's also another possibility. So I think there's still some choices available, but even Xin Zhao I think is a lot better choice. Xin Zhao's early game is extremely strong. Sometimes even stronger than Lee Sin. Depends on they're similar to Vi, depends on who uses the skill, who are the wasted skill on the minions. If they meet in the river, if Lee Sin uses skill on the scuttle, then Xin Zhao wins by default. If the other way around, then the other one wins.
Yeah, it's definitely, eyebrow raising to say the least if we're talking about the Mundo pick. But yeah, it's just the only thing I can say is probably a comfort pick, like we mentioned. We've seen them play Vi, we've seen them play Lee Sin, so presumably the jungle is capable of playing multiple roles here.
Yeah.
I think one thing that threw them off a little bit, threw team sequence off, is that they go with the Olaf, right? I'm not sure. I don't remember the exact order, but you were mentioning earlier that Olaf does a really great job against the stand and fight side laners like Darius, right? But if you pick a Kali to go against him, then they fare a lot better, right?
Yeah.
So I think once they saw the Akali, they're like, wait, crap, they know the counter here. And that kind of threw off their game, and they decided to go for the Muno to try to kind of play a different type of play style.
Yeah.
And that kind of just messed them up.
And that was, I know, this is definitely uncharacteristic of team sequence. The previous match where they're playing well organized and then obviously rotating to objectives. This time we're seeing a kind of orthodox, right? That's the right word. Behavior coming in from team sequence. So hopefully next game they can reorganize themselves, take a deep breath, right? Recollect themselves, and then really step up the games here. Because they're going. This is a one-chance thing, right? One-time thing. If they lose this opportunity, they're gonna be fighting for the third and fourth. If they get this opportunity, if they hold on to it, they might be going for the first, right? So we shall find out how they're gonna perform. We can see I can see in the backstage that Leroy is talking to his team. They're thinking about strategy, so they really want to win this. They're not giving up by all means.
Yeah, Leroy telling his team, "Stop feeding, guys. I got this. I can carry us." If you guys stop feeding while I'm trying to split push, then we're good.
True. That's maybe exactly what he's saying. Stop feeding, guys. We're just let me push the tower. We're gonna win the game. Anyways, we're gonna take a short 2-minute break here, and while both teams are getting ready. Once again, if you haven't get your popcorns ready, haven't get your soda, haven't get your stuff ready, make sure to go ahead and do that. This stream, this tournament is sponsored by Trovo.live, and the grand final will be streamed on Trovo exclusively. So if you're watching the stream, you want to watch grand finals tomorrow. Doesn't matter which team wins tonight. It's going to be a very exciting and very, very, very intense game tomorrow. And grand final will be a best out of 5. So the team have to win 3 times. If you want to watch that, make sure to use the link in the chat right now to go to Trovo and follow us on Trovo.live instead. Because that is the uprising star, the best streaming platform you can watch for all things mobile. At the same time, Tencent being the official partner for Riot will definitely give Trovo a huge advantage in the future tournaments for anything Wild Rift. Make sure to go to Trovo.live, and a big shout out to Wild Rift Competitive for helping for assisting the entire tournament organization, making this tournament happen. Big shout out to them, and big shout out to D2 for the incredible cast today. So with that, we'll see you guys in a little bit. Get your stuff ready. See you guys soon. All right, guys. Thank you for the wait. Sorry about the delay. We had a little bit of technical issue over there, and then we just got everything fixed. And now we're starting the second game between Team Sequence and Team Aether Rift. This game will decide whether we're gonna have a game 3 or is Aether Rift gonna take this series with a 2-0 absolute landslide fashion. We'll have find out in this game. The band pick is already starting. Let's quickly jump in so you guys can see the band draft, the pick, and bands. The bands in this games are Gragas, Braum, Oriana, and Evelyn. So finally we have some tank bands. Maybe we can see some Alistar showing up soon.
Yeah, Alistar and Braum have definitely been the two most sought after supports here, but it looks like a Blitzcrank has already been picked, which I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, first pick Blitzcrank. So it looks like the Team Sequence really wanted to secure that Blitzcrank.
Yeah.
You can kind of see why they banned Braum, because Braum is one of the main counters to Blitzcrank, right? He's able to block out that hook, but it's just I don't know. It's a very high risk, high reward pick here with Blitzcrank, because if you land some hooks which lead to kills, it's good, but if you're not able to land some early hooks, you can really start hurting yourself.
Yeah. Because Blitzcrank is more of a snowball kind of hero. If you don't get those early game advantages, in teamfight you're gonna fall off really, really fast. Like if, for example, right now they pick Blitzcrank, leaving Alistar completely open, and then you can almost rest assured that will be the last pick from Aether Rift, right? So right now, Team Sequence is looking for their the last two picks, their jungle pick, maybe because Olaf is a flex, and also their mid laner. And we see Varus and Annie coming out, as well as Amumu, a pretty interesting early game.
I don't think we've ever seen a comp like this. This is so interesting. One thing to keep in mind as well is that Zed was picked up here by Aether Rift, and that was one of the bans in game number 1. So
yeah,
there's definitely a price to pay when you're banning out a different champion. So they banned the Braum, but they allow the Zed to go through. If we're looking at just the overall team compositions here, Aether Rift has a very standard comp, very strong, whereas Team Sequence is definitely off the wall.
Yeah. Well, Team Sequence here, they need that snowball. Basically, that's the point, right? If they don't get that snowball, but also the problem here is their comp is not really allowing them to have that snowball potential. I mean, in my opinion, if they have to kind of wait for Amumu to get level 5 to get that ultimate. Before that, like we discussed before, Amumu was kind of useless, right? What is Amumu gonna do pre-level 5?
Were we talking about Amumu on stream or just off stream?
I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But Amumu is weak before level 5.
Yeah, he's extremely weak. He doesn't really do that much damage. In fact, even after level 5, he's really like an ult bot, and the damage doesn't really scale for a while. He is somewhat dinky, so that's kind of helpful. But I feel like it's going to be incumbent on Team Sequence in order to just get in their faces, because they have a lot of melee heroes, and looks like Aether Rift is going to be the ones being aggressive here and trying to force the situation for their side.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a trade on both sides. Yeah. Like neither. Okay, so for Team Sequence, they do not want to face this up front because they know they cannot win the early game skirmishes. But they are going to take this with Amumu. So they're going to take this with a trade. We see a little bit mirror jungling.
Oh, look at that. They're rotating over. The Team Aether Rift is actually rotating in between the towers in order to get the other side of the jungle as well. So let's see if they're able to successfully pull that off. It seems like Team Aether Rift was a little bit faster in the rotations.
Yeah.
And
still delay. Let's go back to Team Sequence stream. A little bit skirmish at the blue side, it seems like.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to contest this instead of just giving it over willy-nilly. Leroy does take a lot of damage. He is the one on Chingy there. And they're going to be jumping in, trying to get the damage here onto the Blitzcrank. They're actually able to get the kill. Very nicely played here from Aether Rift, and they get first blood.
Again, they're doing it all with 4 members, right? Like they're always together. That's the thing. And they have a plan, but they're always together. That's the strength I find in Aether Rift. Like they're doing everything together, doing Dragon together. They were all team doing one thing. If you remember last game when they were doing Baron, there was a moment when Team Sequence, when Leroy and his teammate were the only one in the Baron pit, right? And they were trying to steal the Baron because the entire team from Aether Rift actually dropped the Baron to focus on team fight. It's a team that is really focused on one goal, and that's really good.
Okay, what is Lee Sin doing? So while you were talking, Lee Sin just kind of goes into the enemy side jungle once more, just being super greedy. He gets taken out by Amamu, but Amamu dies himself as Zed's able to get the counter kill. Zed running for his life. Can he get out of there? Looks like you can see on the mini map that he does manage to slink his way back out over to the mid lane. But Aether Rift is certainly playing with fire here. Oh, they get the kill on the Kaisa. Okay, that's a return kill here for the for Team Sequence.
Varus is certainly an interesting. It's an odd pick. You don't see Varus a lot in ranking, not even in PvP. This hero is just one of those nobody like kind of heroes. But recently he got a huge buff on his damage. So for a good Varus player, it might be a good news. So we shall see that in this game.
Yeah, got some buff on his damage, got some, or as we see Annie getting killed by the Wukong. Actually, Amamu goes down as well. So we were talking about Amamu getting a potential power spike as he gets there, or power like escalator, I guess, a slow, gradual, ramp up in power. But if he's going to continuously die like this, it's not going to help his cause. Yeah, wow, killing spree coming up from the Wukong. Wukong is just absolutely killing it right now, literally and figuratively, as he takes out 3 there.
I think all junglers need to start focusing on, at least learning Wukong to some extent, because Wukong is such a versatile hero, right? He can be played on the side lane, he can be played in the jungle, and the thing about this hero, he's so mobile. He can engage with invisibility or not, depends on the distance he's away from you. And the thing is, he has a huge AoE knockup, and he can do it twice.
Yeah. For those of you who haven't experimented with Wukong yet, when he pops his ult, he and his clone knock you up, and then within 8 seconds he's able to use it once more. You see Leroy here. He was so dominant in his earlier game, but now he's having so much trouble. Tried to get greedy and start taking it on the turret, but caught out by the Lee Sin on the opposing side, and that means that his pushing is halted quite a bit.
Yeah, and see that was just a fake monkey that he was almost hitting. He wasn't even interested in that. Leroy just want to clear that wave and start rotating to the other side. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and take a look at so the stream completely turned off.
Let's take a look at the
let's go back. Let's go back to Leroy's perspective. Let's go to Team Sequence perspective. This does not tell us where Aether Rift is. We got to see. Look, Monkey once again is showing up. The top laner, the Baron laner, is once again showing up at the Dragon. So Aether Rift have 5 men on the Dragon right now. Oh, Amumu gets it.
All of it. Amumu was able to actually steal it there because it actually was a 4v4. Zed trying to fight off with Leroy here. He was able to take it in the end. Oh my goodness! Flash into 3rd ability, and he is cut down, quite literally speaking. And Leroy's coming to play this time. They get the Dragon, they get the kill onto the Zed, and maybe Team Sequence can finally make something happen here.
What a Dragon steal over there. Let's show you the Amumu teamfight presence. The good thing about Amumu compared to Lee Sin, if you fail to get a huge lead against Amumu in teamfight, you're gonna start losing to Amumu really fast. Because his ult is so game changing. It's one of those ultimate that's huge area, cover a huge area. They also stun you for a long duration. That's one of the reasons why developer nerfed it in the last patch. I still don't understand that. I feel Amumu early game is too weak.
Yeah, he's a pretty weak champion, but he has a massive ult, like you mentioned, 1.75 second stun. And you can see his ult is still on cooldown, which means he likely used it in that fight. If I can maybe radio broadcast and replay that for you guys in your heads, even though we couldn't physically see it, I imagine that he jumped in there, got a nice pull with his first ability, got a nice ult, and that made it so that there wasn't the ability to smite there from the Lee Sin, and he's like, I'll take this Dragon. Thank you very much. That's exactly what happened in my eyes.
So top side is a one-on-one trade. Yeah, exactly. Let your vivid imagination flow. Just like go free. Think about, imagine all the scenario that is happening. But yes, absolutely. And Amumu now has ultimate, finally. And another thing downside about Mumu's early game is his ultimate cooldown is so long. It's such a long ultimate.
Yeah, so we're looking for like the level 13 power spike when he gets the final cooldown reduction. That might be the case here, right here. Let's see the potential Olaf v Zed part 2. I believe the Rift Herald was taken by Aether Rift.
Exactly. That's once again a typical Aether Rift move. Again, focus on the objectives, whereas we see Leroy just completely dedicated himself to the split push, right? To putting pressure on the map. The pressure on the map, though, have to come with the results. The reason why the Baron laner put pressure on the map is for your team to take objectives safer, because then enemy team have to answer that. But in this case, we see Zed sometimes answer it, right, in the last dragon fight. But before that, I mean, after that, they were just focusing on the Rift Herald altogether, and I assume the same thing will happen for the next dragon.
Actually, now that you mention it, okay, we might see a fight here with the Wukong. Is he going to go down? He probably still has invisibility up. He does get away for a moment there, uses his ult, but does go down to the combination here of Olaf and Annie. And actually, there was a kill on the other side of Wukong. That's a very nice pickup there. Amumu does die himself, so a bit of a trade. But, Team Sequence actually kind of making something happen here.
Yep, they're looking for trade around the map. I mean, right now, this is their play. They have to make something happen here. Right, this is their last chance right now before getting taken down to 3rd and 4th place. So mid tower will go down here.
Oh wow! Jump in from the Lee Sin. I wasn't expecting that. Has to use his ult to get away, but big knock up here coming from the Alistair. Jump back in from the Lee Sin. Is he gonna be able to get the kill? And Kai'Sa finishes it off. Wow, those. I don't even know what to call them. Those spirits, whatever she shoots out, it can be extremely strong, especially when the opposing team is very loud. Here comes Rift Herald, finally released. Going to be in that top lane there as the skirmish continues here in this mid lane. Going to be a 5v4 situation in favor of Aether Rift.
Yeah, Dragon's coming up in 16 seconds. Leroy's coming up in 3. Olaf's coming up in 3. So we'll see what the team decided to do. Okay, that was a technical issue there. But right now it seems like. It seems like the entire team sequence heading towards the dragon.
Yeah, seems like they're gonna be trying to contest this. The vision comes out here, but immediately taken down is Kai'Sa. There is the play the team sequence is looking for right before a major objective. Can they make it happen right now? That was a beautiful hook by the Blitzcrank. Let's see if they can try to. Come in. Coming in is Team Aether. If they're going to jump on it, their team is able to secure the dragon. Big knock up here. That is huge play coming in from Team Sequence, but can they finish off the kills? The Alistair's extremely low. Zed gets in there. Or excuse me, that was the Lee Sin who jumped in there. The Wukong and the Lee Sin are extremely low. Can they pick up these kills? The Annie is on the chase. They go back and try to finish off the Zed. Not the smartest choice here by the Zed in the end. He gets taken out. Leroy and Team Sequence, it looked like a 3v4 in the end there. It was 6-9 before that all started. So not the best situation, but they do manage to pick up the dragon. So, team fights going forward, they do have those advantages.
It was such a cluster last team fight, but the good thing that's going for Team Sequence is this is the most objective any team is taking away from a team like Aether Rift this entire day. They're able to get 2 dragons so far. The last dragon was a clutch. This dragon was just, they were ready. Right? They got a kill ahead of time. But like I said, it felt like a deja vu, right? When they were taking the dragon. When TGT was taking the Baron, they got sandwiched. And this time, I thought the same thing was going to happen. But nice job from Team Sequence here to secure the dragon and also even up the team fight.
Yeah, it was a 5v4 though, so I don't really blame them going for it. Going forward, I think they really want to have those types of team fights, right? Where everyone's kind of clustered around one area. That will allow Annie to get her damage, and that allows for Blitzcrank to get his silence off on his ultimate. That allows for Amumu to get his massive ultimate off as well. The only thing they have to be worried about is a massive ultimate or a massive knock-up on the side of Alistair. So that's one thing they need to be careful of. But other than that, they really like those groups team fights so they can get their damage in.
Absolutely. Oh, top side, Baron.
Yeah, looks like this is how tanky Amumu is. I guess they're trying to be as tanky as possible to kind of eliminate, nullify the damage coming out here from Aether Rift. If they can just be super tanky and just kind of get in their faces and take these team fights, and maybe they can make this happen. Maybe kind of be a little bit of a soft counter to both the Zed and the Lee Sin to just outlive the damage that comes through.
Yeah, and now we're seeing Zed is putting pressure on the bottom side, and this is how you really expect the Zed to play. Ultimate comes in. It's going to be a collapse. Not going to connect.
He actually does use his ultimate to get away. It makes him more vulnerable, but also relieves him of any sort of CC. The Lee Sin really wants this kill, trying to get the fireball in order to make that happen.
Nice.
Looks like there's a turret left. Yeah, gets the ult in, and in comes Leroy, gets the kill onto the Zed. That is a lot of damage that's mitigated. Gets a double kill as well onto that Alistair. That is a 2-4-0 for their team. Meanwhile, we see the Wukong pushing the top lane. He already got the second tower, as you saw on the screen there. So a little bit of a trade, but I think that Leroy and Team Sequence will take that every single time, getting 2 kills, only losing 1 turret.
And now Team Sequence is making a move to the Baron. They want to take this turn this advantage into an objective. Still 6 seconds on the timer for 2 people to spawn here. There's a 5-3, but remember the same mistake TG make. The enemy jungler is still alive, along with a lot of team fight maker, for example, Monkey and stuff. So looks like they're going to back away.
Yeah, they kind of had it back away there. The other members were coming up pretty soon. You saw the fireballs being thrown out from the side of the Lee Sin from behind that little cove there. And that means that they do not get the Baron despite the... Oh, wow, Aether Rift just steals it. They just jump on it. No one even had any sort of vision at all. Aether Rift just takes it. And look at the members of Team Sequence. They're extremely low. All of them are following immediately. There's a revive coming out from the Wukong, but he's going to be in the back in the fight very quickly here. They're fighting under a turret, though, so a bit of a sloppy situation. 3 members are dead already from Team Sequence. Can they make something happen? Revive coming out. I don't even know what's going on anymore. There's a double kill coming out from Amamoon, but he is killed himself. That means that only Leroy is left alive. He's going to have to defend himself 1v3 here.
Yeah.
And can he do it?
With a Baron
Guardian Angel back up.
I was just about to say, they just left the Baron like without putting any wards down. There was no vision left, and they just kind of left the territory completely and leave the Baron to the enemy to take. And that is such a huge mistake from Team Sequence side, giving the Baron for free to their opposition. And meanwhile,
like, you gotta give Aether Rift a lot of you gotta give Aether Rift a lot of credit though, because they immediately jumped on it. There was no hesitation. It seemed like right when the Team Sequence left, it was already taken.
Exactly, because they did about 40% of the Baron's HP, and they just left. I mean, you never just leave, though. Right? The other thing is, why not put a ward down, right? Why not give some kind of vision instead? So over here, another Dragonfly seems like.
Yeah, Dragonfly potentially on here. Maybe they're going to go for it. In comes Amamu, gets pushed out right away. That means that the Lee Sin is able to pick up the dragon for himself. Leo trying to fight 1v3, but I don't think he can take on this fight. But actually, he's able to. Uses that 3 at the last moment to pick up the kill onto Lee Sin. In fact, they've already killed Wukong as well. He gets the revive. Can he finish off this fight? No, gets taken down by the Kaisai in the end. But as is still a 3v1 fight in favor of Team Sequence. Not expecting that way, or not expecting to go down that way, excuse me. They do, however, lose the dragon. So that's the first dragon going over to Team Aether Rift.
This game, I mean, even though Baron did go to the favor of Team Aether Rift, the next team fight is really coming down to the Elder Dragon. Because like I mentioned multiple times, if we have the small dragon, it's all because of the Dragon Soul system. The small dragon individually doesn't really amount too much, but once you put a nail on the coffin, you get the Elder Dragon, all of a sudden all the previous dragon start multiplying the benefits of the Elder Dragon. The next dragon is going to be the Cloud Dragon. The movement speed is insane, but on top of that, the true damage in team fights, it's just too much. You know, like they already have 2 dragons. If somehow Team Sequence secure that Elder Dragon, I think they have a really good chance of finishing this game.
Can you explain the timer again? Because I'm still confused about how that works. So if you get the dragon before 12 minutes or something like that, is that the case?
So this will happen. This entire game, we'll see 4 dragons in total, right? We see 3 small dragons, we see 1 Elder Dragon. Basically, if you finish, if your second dragon dies before 12 minutes, if your last dragon dies before 12 minutes, right, then there's 1 more small dragon, regular dragon.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So there's potentially only 2 dragons showing up in the entire map, like 1 regular dragon, 1 Elder Dragon. If no one on the team, no one on the entire map decided to do dragons, and then the first small dragon died after 12 minutes, that's the only small dragon that will ever show up. After that, it's going to be Elder Dragon, and then that's it.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you got that explanation up before anything happened. There was a nice retreat there from Team Sequence. They're able to get out of dodge. All members really still high, kind of just dancing around each other. The Baron, as you can see, is on the map. No one has vision of it right now. Alice are trying to push them out. Looks like Zed and Wukong are seen on the map, though. It's unlikely that the Baron is taken right now. But both teams kind of still dancing.
Wow. I mean, another tower being taken down bottom side. He kind of left the bottom vacuum right now.
They're going all in on this. They're going all in on this. Now they're going to teleport down to the bottom lane, trying to just take advantage of this. There is the push back by the Lee Sin to prevent the teleport from coming in. Are they going to just try to backdoor this Nexus? Bear is trying to come in to save the day. So too are Annie and Blitzcrank getting back there. So, the teleport is partially traded out for an ultimate here from Lee Sin. Maybe that's worth it, but they do lose the inhibitor chart. Jumping in is Leroy trying to get on to this Wukong. The revive is popped. Can they finish him off, or will he be able to get away? They finish him off immediately. And now they're jumping. They're moving over to the Zed. The Zed is extremely low. He actually teleports back the other way, but the kill comes over to the Amamu. Meanwhile, while all that was happening, the Baron actually gets stolen out from under their nose by Aether Rift. But was that enough? Was it worth it? Only the Kaisa and the Lee Sin available to defend here. And it looks like Team Sequence want to end the game right now.
Now, the minion wave is going to be a problem because the minion member does have the Baron buff. At this point, even if you try to kill the wave with the super minion, it's going to be trouble. Like, look how little damage it do to the buff. And look how fast the minion wave cleared the other side of waves. Right?
Boy.
They literally just touch away. Another thing that people need to know, with Baron buff minion waves, they actually do splash damage. So the cannon actually clears their entire wave in an instant.
Yeah, that is pretty nuts. You saw it right there. They couldn't even jump onto the first turret, let alone the one behind it. Just the super minions combined with the Baron buff itself was enough to push away that middle wave. That is, Elder Dragon's up right now. But that's showed exactly right there why it's so important to focus on Dexys and get that Baron.
All right, this might be the last team fight we see here. I mean, whoever secures Dragon, probably a really dirty and bloody team fight, to be honest. But look at Monkey though. With teleport, he is gonna be pushing top, and I don't think he used it. Only Zed used the teleport top lane, just now to the bottom lane actually to try to put more pressure, and they got the bottom inhibitor tower. So right here,
they're on the Elder Dragon right now. Elder Dragon right now, and there's just so much pressure being put onto all the lanes that Team Sequence can't even attempt to contest it, and that means Elder Dragon in the hands of Aether Rift. And they still have, the last vestiges of this Baron buff. They might even try to end the game right here if they're a little bit bold.
Yeah, if they do it right now, I think this is a perfect time. They have Baron buff on the minions. That's super strong. They have 2 lanes of super minions coming in, and then on top of it, they have the Elder Dragon. I mean, you have to use this Baron buff right now. This Baron buff is so strong.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to make something happen here. The Kaisa is just trying to put pressure. In comes the damage, trying to get there onto the backside of Team Sequence. All of them extremely low. On the backside, the Kaisa actually ends up falling, or excuse me, she was about to fall. The Umu ends up falling in the end. And this is getting more and more problematic here for Team Sequence as the pressure continues to mount. I was a bit confused about what happened there because Lee Sin jumped in and immediately got taken down. But there is the Zed. He gets taken down. This is just a bloodbath over on the Nexus. But with all these minions pushing in, it might be too much or too little too late here for Team Sequence. They're trying to get the kills. Leroy goes down. They have 3 down on their side. It's going to be still a 3v3 situation with minions pushing onto the Nexus. And I got to believe that that's going to be it. Aether Rift are going to the finals.
Wow, what a close call, though. Team Sequence almost cleared the minion waves, but it wasn't going to be enough. They can force it down and just shove it down the throat. So, once again, big congratulations to Aether Rift for making to the grand finals and leaving Team Sequence contesting for the 3rd and 4th place tomorrow. They really give the run for the money for Aether Rift for the second match today.
Yeah, I'm happy that at the very least, Team Sequence put up a good fight in game number 2. Game number 1 was just really unfortunate, right? They had a very, very bad situation when Ari kind of led her team to being slaughtered. But in this game, really back and forth, they're able to steal a couple of dragons, able to get a couple of good team finds, even with their kind of off the wall, team composition with the Amamu. With a couple other unusual picks, but they're still able to potentially almost make it happen there, and kind of made Aether Rift sweat a little bit. But Aether Rift able to take it down in the end. And tell us what that means for our finals and our 3rd or 4th place matchup.
I mean, 3rd and 4th place, we are going to, ladies and gentlemen, the 3rd and 4th place, we are going to have Team Sequence going against Team Geneva, so Singapore versus the Philippines, and the grand final will be 16-bit gear from Korea, taking down Aether Rift from Philippines. So very international matches here for Wild Rift. Even though it's just a community games, but it's really just showing you the competitiveness of this tournament. It's not a single team. You cannot underestimate not a single team here. Every team is trying their best, but obviously there are a few teams that stand out among the rest. So the grand final tomorrow will really be the crown jewel of this tournament for this weekend, guys. The Wild Rift C Invitational. sponsored by Trovo.live. And that match will be streamed exclusively on Trovo. So make sure you use the link in the chat right now to go ahead and get your Trovo account and follow the channel. So tomorrow you can watch the stream. The grand finals between 16-bit Gear and Aether Rift. Both teams had a 2-0 pass, clear path all the way to the grand finals. I mean, D2, what's your favorite match for this past 2 days?
You know what? I think it was the one that we just saw because it was probably the closest one. I don't know. A lot of games had their different interesting points, right? Like I think 16-bit brought a lot of unique ways to go about the matchups, right? Just throwing the ADC in the opposite lane, for instance, doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
we saw some crazy stuff from Team Sequence as well. But I think this last game was one of the closer games, kind of back and forth. Really unsure who was going to take it in the end, but more than anything, I'm really looking forward to seeing 16-bit go against Aether Rift because, like you mentioned earlier, both of them 4-0 going into the finals.
Absolutely. I mean, what a dominating, what an easy path for us as casters. I mean, literally, you don't expect the game to end so fast. Usually it's up and down. It's like a roller coaster. But for this past 2 days, it's been like smooth sailing. 2-0, 2-0. You can get off 4.
You don't want to say that as a caster though, because like sometimes you get tired as a caster and you're like in your mind you're like, please just go 2-0, and then like you have all the viewers at home like saying, please go full games, please go all the full limit. So as a caster, sometimes you're hype into it, and sometimes you're like, okay, a lot of the time I wanted to go 3 games. I wanted to go the distance because I love to see really good matchups, but sometimes you can't hide it. It's just like
sometimes you're so tired, especially when you cast the whole day, and then you just wish the last match and 2-0, please, 2-0. But tomorrow, guys, tomorrow is the game. It's best out of 5 for the grand finals. It's the match that you really do not want to miss. So put it on your calendar. Tomorrow's game will start 30 minutes later, so it will be 6 o'clock p.m. Korea time. That's when the third and fourth bronze match will start. Whoever wins that match will be taking $50 prize pool. And then the last 2 plays, the first and second place, the winner of the first place will win $350, and second place will win $100. So the total price was $500, probably the highest among all the community tournaments in C right now, even though this is not even the tip of the iceberg for our next phase of the tournament sponsored by Trovo. So you are in for a treat. Fasten your seatbelts, get your stuff ready. Tomorrow is going to be more exciting. With that, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. Big shout out to our beautiful, sexy caster D2 here for the incredible performance tonight. And then for everybody who helped with this tournament, big shout out to Wild Rift Competitive. Make sure to follow them with the social links in description for everything competitive related to Wild Rift. If you're looking for teams, if you're looking for players, if you're looking to join in your next tournament, contact Wild Rift Competitive with the social links in description. So with that, guys, hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful rest of the evening. I'm going to come back with a little bit of personal live stream after this. I will see you guys tomorrow or in a little bit. Bye now.